All right. Let's see what we got here. Hey guys, my name is Rodrigo. Welcome to El Picachon. Um, yeah, we are getting back to our poison type run where we are playing with nothing but poison types. This is our character Petunia. She is about to go take on the ice gym. And I forgot like 2 sessions ago that after each gym, according to the rules that I made up, we can add another poison type to the team. So I added a Ghastly. This is our new Ghastly named MTG player. Please be nice to him. He is very sensitive. So we're going to try to get him some levels. Hopefully he won't have to do any fighting since he's a little bit under leveled. Alright, here we go. Skippy the Wonder Chicken says, the quest continues. Yes. Petunia is on her way. Lagna says, I'm here to slap those Raiders fans. Critical hit, callback completed. Oh, nice. Hop. Uh-oh. Must have been something wrong with my strategy, but I did just what I've seen Lee do. Oh, Melanie's leak card. Skippy the Wonder Chicken says, that's a devastating blow. MTG player needs some deodorant. You can practically see the smell aura. Yeah. He doesn't play very well with others, definitely. What to put on my team once and for all, and no more of this doubting. I think he's gonna bring his Wooloo back. Oh, ball guy. Ooh, a moon ball. Wooloo best starter. Yeah, out of a lot of the like early game normal types, Wooloo's actually very good just because Dubwool is such a tank and gets actually 2 really good abilities. Either one of their abilities, like either fluffy or bulletproof, like they're both really good. Yes, let's go. Giraffe. Yeah, sure. Please head on in to pick up the trap detector. Oh no. Actually, oh no, I've never played this gem because I played Sword, so I actually have no idea what's going to happen now. Would you like to hear the details of the gym mission carried out here in Sirchester? Yes. Okay. Reason you'll need it is simple. There are invisible pitfalls everywhere in here. If you fall into one, you'll have to start again from the last platform you reached. The detector will vibrate when there's a pitfall in front of you. The closer the hole, the stronger the vibration. Uh-oh. Do I need to be using something that has like vibration like activated? Skippy the Wonder Chicken says, I finally got a shiny giraffe egg in Soul Silver. Have to rep my butthole. Oh wait, no. When is it? I have to rep my I jumped over to what Lagnus was saying. That's like really weird. Skippy says, I finally got a shiny giraffe rig in Soul Silver. Have to rep my newfound love of weird giraffe horses. Yeah, totally. Um, Lagnus says, I have a thing I've been pondering here lately. Can you in text point out rules, errors someone did in an RPG that does not make you sound like a condescending butthole? My current conclusion is no. Not even when asked, really, especially if you don't know the other party well. Yeah, that's very... Yes. Skippy does not need to rep his butthole. Everybody already knows it. No, 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 no. I'm sorry, that I misread that. It was comical, but I do apologize for misreading that. Yes. Yeah, so a lot of the time, we talk about this on Critical Hit a lot. When people ask us questions about their games, they're actually very often social questions, like, you know, it's like, I used to date someone at the table and now we broke up and it's kind of bad. What do? You know, and you know, stuff like this, like, hey, how do I do this without sounding like a jerk? And it's actually kind of a matter of, you know, socially smoothing it out. You know, we give Rob crap for correcting us on the rules, but he knows and we know that we're just joking around, right? We want him to correct us on the rules because we want to do the rules right, because we have a show and we want the show to be accurate as far as the rules, right? Doing it on the table, it really does come down to how well do you know the person, how comfortable is the table with each other. But I would say just do it. You know, it's like, if it's the game master and you're like, actually this is supposed to work this way, hopefully they'll just be like, okay. Or they'll be like, well, I'm going to house rule this because I don't like the way it works. And then, you know, that's that separate can of worms. So yeah, that would be my thing. Is there a way to do it without sounding like a jerk? Yeah, there is. You just, you know, be polite and be like, hey, I was looking through and it looks like we're running this wrong. It's actually supposed to be this. You know, don't, you know, when somebody does or interprets a rule and you feel it's incorrect, don't just be like, wrong, wrong, you're wrong about that, you're stupid and you're wrong. Like, don't do that. Just take it easy and talk like adults, and you guys will be able to sort it out. All right. So I'm guessing what I'm supposed to do here is just run at top speed, right? What? Okay. Can I fall into the same pitfall? No. It has to be a new pitfall. Well, good news is I'm finding all the pitfalls. I wonder if this is actually like vibration that I could feel through the Joy-Cons. Because I'm using the Pro Controller and I don't know if it vibrates or not. Haha. I'm guessing I need to come this way now. Oh yeah, let's go. Let's see. Skippy the Wonder Chicken says, I find it's best to use emojis more and use exclamation marks to show that you're trying to be positive and enthusiastic. People will interpret what's typed however they're feeling. That's true. Hey, Harvest Tree. It does vibrate, but I think I've had that setting turned off for a few years now. Okay. Lagnus says, I'm just very distracted of images of talk with my agent. Oh, it's about my butthole. Yeah, talk with Rodrigo. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I got us onto this weird tangent. I do realize now, Lagnus, that you were talking about text. It is very difficult to convey tone over text, so in my experience, emoticons and emojis do not help. Like you just if you're like you're reading like that's not my interpretation of the rule. It's actually like this smiley face. Like that just comes across more sarcastic than if you put nothing. Hey, Saint JW. Oh, Saint JW. Let me check something. I think last week you redeemed a story about Kansas, and I didn't see it. Um, so if you want, we can do a story about Kansas today. I don't remember if you have to like go to bed early, so we can do it sooner rather than later. It's up to you. Let me pull it. Okay, let's fight this guy. Once again, this is why this run is moving at a crawl, right? Because I can't, I kind of can't do two. I can't like talk to you guys and pay attention to what I'm doing. I'm not a very good streamer in that sense. Okay, let's try and get through the whole gym, and then we'll do a story about Kansas. Whoosh. Horsepawn Mind says, some would say you're the best kind of streamer in that sense. I guess. I mean, I definitely try to... Dark Pulse? Oh, for MTG Player. Yeah. Yeah, definitely Dark Pulse over Payback. Aw, thanks, guys. Alright, here we go. Boop-de-boop. Oh, MTG Player's evolving. Oh, my MTG Player evolved into Haunter. See? Now, MTG Player is improving. Now he's not just a stinky ball. Now he is, like, at least styling his hair, right? In some way, right? So that's good. That's good. That's an improvement. Let's see. Harvester says, monotasking is super commonly stronger for a lot of people, so zero worries for me. Okay, that's good. Horsepawn Man says, hey, look at it economically. Some streamers have to keep jumping to new games. You're getting so much out of this one game. Yeah, I'm actually kind of worried because they've announced the next generation that comes in at the end of this year. And I'm like, I am definitely not going to be done with the Poison Run by the end of the year. Like, we're just moving way too slowly. And I'm like, I'm going to be like 3 Pokemon games behind by the time that comes out. I mean, it's okay. Likeness says he's got the net deck list ready to go. Yeah. Skippy says, I usually try to use a mix of explanation of what your intent is in conjunction with the emojis. Hey guys, I think we're running the rule a little wrong. Not trying to be mean or critical. It works this way in the book if we want to do it that way, or just house rule it. Hopefully this helps, rather than, hey guys, this rule's wrong. It works this way in the book. Yeah, it really does. Like, it very much depends on the group. If the group has, like, spoken to you verbally, they might be able to just read your tone, like, read stuff in your voice. So that definitely helps, too. Alright, let's see what Haunter's data says. If you get the feeling of being watched in the darkness when nobody's around, Haunter is there. Thank you once again, Pokedex, for haunting my nightmares. Sucker Punch. We already had it forget Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch is good, but we literally already have like 1 or 2 critters that know it, so no thanks. Ooh, Shadow Punch. That sounds promising. It's probably better than Hex. The user throws a punch from the shadows. This attack never misses. No, actually Hex is stronger. Yeah, the annoying thing is that now I'm going to have to, like, find someone to trade this Pokemon with. because that's the only way that Haunter evolves into Gengar. Like, I can't even see. Way up. Do you feel safe, secure? Well, have you met ghost Pokemon? Yeah, no. That's pretty much exactly it. Alright, there can't be... Ah, man. I'm not like my Pokemon aren't like losing health for falling through, are they? Or anything wacky like that? No. What? Harvester says, Pokedex. Oh, Skippy the Wonder Sugar says, I can always hop on my Switch and do a touch trade if you need it. Yeah, well, okay, we'll talk about it. Definitely nothing wrong with keeping a Haunter for a while. Oh, we made it. Oh, those are all the holes I didn't find. Good, good. Who's talking to me? I can't tell. Oh, there it is. So far so good. Let me get onto this platform. And... yeah. Lagna says, I'm here for Rodrigo first, game second, unless it's a game about farting and pushing buttons, then I'm here for game first. Yeah, great. Fantastic. Thanks. Skippy says, I'm here entirely to see Petunia's escalating drip. Yeah. Harvester says, Eviolite could help keep Haunter performing in the meantime. That's true, and I did... Did I get an Eviolite? I think I did. And also because it's a fun stream where occasionally my butthole comes up. Alright. Alright, everybody calm down. Calm down on the buttholes for a second, okay? We're trying to keep this as a family stream. Ooh. A Cloyster. I see what you're doing. You're trying to intimidate me away from using fire types, eh? Saint JW says, I missed the butthole. Should I be glad? Yes. Yeah. You're super cool. I get it. Anyway, revenge. Oh. Can't use water type moves on me, boy. Poor Cloyster. Wow, these gym leaders are pretty light. Let's see. Oh, Horsepoint Man says, "Watch it. Rodrigo's got the fire extinguisher ready." Now there's an old school reference. Skippy says, "If it's mentioned in Shrek 2, it's probably family appropriate." That's a sad commentary on our society, I think. Lagna says, "You should definitely check the VOD." Yeah. Harvester says, Rodrigo Dangerous hit single butthole sitter. Okay, I'm done. All right. Everybody calm down. Oh, you know the real annoying thing about... It's like now I do have to do it in one because if they send me back, I don't remember which way I went. Yeah, of course I want to challenge the gym leader. That's what I'm here for. I'm Petunia. Let's incinerate. Let's go ahead and conserve our incinerate and just hit it with a Veno shock and see what happens. Yeah, the nice thing about it's like poison is actually a very non-interactive type. It, you know, it's like it's weak to psychic. It doesn't deal damage to steel, or you can't poison steel, and steel is resistant to it. Like it's resistant to pretty much everything. But for the majority of other types, it's just neutral. So you can always you can rely on poison moves a lot. Plus, again, unless it's like a steel type, maybe a rock type, it can be poisoned. So that's always a way to go. Who let Slim Shady be a gym trainer? He does kind of look like Eminem. What are you beeping? Ah, come on. How's I supposed to get out of there? Oh, I know. I'm supposed to go this way. Okay. I got it. Oh, no. I was doing so well. Okay, now I got it. What? Okay, now I got it. Here we go. There we go. See, look at all those ones. I totally skipped all of these. That would be funny if, like, a lot of people who play Pokemon are completionists. So that'd be funny if somebody was like, actually, I need to trigger each of these holes. Otherwise, I'm going to feel weird. Like I didn't experience some part of the game. Lagnus says, has anyone here played the RPG Polaris, the post-apocalyptic French game? There is, of course, an English edition. I do not speak French. I haven't played it. Okay. Now enter trust in yourself and push forward. Who's talking? Oh, now there's like mist. Yeah, I definitely can't see that. Like, Pokemon, have you considered that there are people with disabilities playing this game? Yeah, definitely just gonna trigger every possible hole here. And back to the front. Skippy the Owner Chicken says, isn't there a crowd? There is, but only on the stadium side. I assume that this is kind of like... this is kind of like the audience is watching on like the Jumbotron. Wait a minute. Oh, that's a platform. I thought that was a hole. Okay, well, I made it to that platform. Somebody up there? Yeah, let's go. You know, Skippy, you're right. That does look like Eminem. Avalug. Oh, it's thinking about camping. Okay, I'm a little upset that I've hit all of these ice types with Incinerate, and it keeps not one-shotting them, but this guy went down in one shot. I guess the other ones probably just had good, good special defense, maybe. Skippy says, I think hugging the walls is probably the play. They seem to herd you towards the wall. Yeah, it's kind of like... it wants you to take this, like, very circuitous thing where it, like, yeah. It's like, go up against the wall, cut across. Like, basically, the basic pattern is, like, just kind of the zigzag. It's just slightly different, right? They'll throw in a hole into to throw you off. Just like you won because you believe in your Pokemon, believe in yourself, and move forward. Dyed his beard. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Okay, can I go this way? No. Can I go up this way? Nope. Oh. Take the most obtuse path possible and you'll be there in no time. Okay. Well, clearly we just go straight forward here, right? No. Let's see what all we missed. I mean, we could have done a lot worse. That's not too bad. Wow, this M&M is super positive, yeah. Skippy the Wonder Chicken says, that does track with most Pokemon walking puzzles, yeah. Lagnus says, okay, this is probably where I'd switch the game off. I'm blind enough as it is. Yeah, fortunately, again, baby game for baby, so there's no, other than having to spend a little bit more time doing it, there's actually no downside to falling through the ice. You just start back, not even back at the beginning, you start back at the last platform, right? So it's actually pretty good. Petunia, I think we're done with that. You can put those down now. It's like, no, I want to look like I'm carrying 2 sodas with very aggressive straws. Woo! Now do a mic drop. Just drop them. Okay, that's fine. She's polite. She doesn't want to drop them. Alright. Alright, you guys ready for this? Do we need somebody else up front? Actually, let me put Ribatina up front. My guess is they're going to try another kind of like cloister shenanigans. And try to hit us with a water type. Also, what's the ice type? What's the Gmax ice type? Is it Darmanitan? That'll be interesting. I am Melanie. As you can clearly see, I've assembled a team of all Ice-type Pokemon. Oh, is that what this is? Is this the Ice-type gym? I hadn't realized. You aren't sore all over from falling in a hole or two, are you? Even if you are, I'm not going to hold back. Alright, I suppose we should get started. You won't be able to escape when I freeze you solid. And after that, well, you'll see. I think you'll find my battle style is quite severe. Melanie! Oh, Frostmoth. I guess I should have kept my fire type up front. I was really expecting some shenanigans here. Let's see. Oh, the Johto Ice Gym was natural for me as a kid, as I was really used to doing that step on each tile once thing in real life to amuse my mind. That's cute. Or maybe the Sinnoh one. Yeah, I don't know. She's cosplaying as a Gen 3 trainers with those dowsing rods. Or, yeah. Lagnus says, mics cost thousands of dollars. I'm flipping them on eBay. Oh, St. JW just subscribed. Thank you. Oh, you added... Somebody gave something to the community. Oh, you gave a sub to Lagnus. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. There you go, Lagnus. Dang. Everybody's being so cool today. Except for all the butthole talk earlier. The Wonder Chicken says, I feel like there's a really fun will it kill style show in betting channel points on whether a certain Pokemon will win a battle. And you're there in shorts, right? Right? They forced me to wear that. Anyway, let's fight. I'm hoping this thing will just fold. Let's Poison Jab. I would Sucker Punch, but actually bug types are resistant to Dark, so... Bambly Bam. I swear, if I get frozen, I'm gonna be so upset. Freezing is like the worst. It's the worst one. Oh, level 47. Is there an official pen and paper Pokemon RPG? I think I've heard that there was, but I don't think there's an extant one. I think attempts have been made. Harvester says bug type doesn't resist dark, I believe. Okay. I'll believe you. I didn't see what she was gonna send out. Oh, it is Darmanitan. Sending Darmanitan out second, so that must not be the one that they're planning to Dynamax. Oh, how dare you. That's what you get for taunting her. Rubitina is very sensitive. There are lots of unofficial Pokemon RPGs. Lots of like pet monster RPGs in general. Skippy says no official ones in English. There were board games though. There's an indie game called Beast Dreams, I think, that uses a region based on rural Kentucky. Yeah, there's a ton of like pet monster or like whatever type games. I've actually always thought that it would be fun if you did like a Pokemon type RPG. If whenever you like caught a new Pokemon, they were always like obscured, and then basically once you caught it, you got to decide what traits it had and what it looks like, and then everybody just acts like that's a Pokemon that has always been around and they know it. I don't know, I think that would be fun. Gym Leader Melanie is about to send Ice Cube. No, Ice Cube doesn't have a G-Max form. Wow, they really didn't want to show us G-Max Darmanitan. Yeah, let's switch. Actually, Ice Cube is just straight up ice, so should be able to bonk it on the head. Literally, you have to bonk it on the head first. Maybe Lapras? Oh, G-Max Lapras. Yep, you're right. Good call. That's probably what it is. So it is going to be an ice type, so we actually want to stick with Ribitina. See, look at that. Setting up ice now. Like, this is... Oh, I forgot that came back. Well. Let's... It, like, literally doesn't matter. I guess I could have tried to Sucker Punch, but if it doesn't do an effect, or if it doesn't do an attack, then it would have not done anything. You know, they keep dropping my speed, and that actually makes it better for revenge. Unless I get frozen. Okay, well, uh, plans change. I should have known that the ice gym was just gonna totally throw a wrench on things. Let's do this. Go, Oakley! Okay. Lagnus says, I bet these days there's at least some fan-made 5e versions that don't feel shoehorned at all. I'm sure there are. 5e is just what everybody's playing right now, so yeah, you're always gonna find somebody who's like, hey, look at me, I'm doing Batman and Pokemon at once in my uh, like homebrew setting. It's like, well, yeah, I go for it, I guess. Hot take: 4e is better for almost every genre than 5e. Oh, I would say definitely. It's like such a that is such a hot, spicy take because 4e is actually terrible at a lot of genres. So I can see that. Again, I haven't played very much 5th edition. But if all you're doing is comparing those two, then yeah, maybe fourth. Like, actually, I can't imagine that 4th edition is better than 5th edition at doing low-level survival horror. Like, characters in 4th edition from level 1 are so survivable that I bet you 5th edition characters fold faster. Anyway, let's see. Harvester says, I had not seen Ice-Cube's tiny head, and I do not like it. You've never seen it? Yeah, Ice-Cube is weird. It's a weird Pokemon. I have come across a lot of, like, let's redesign Pokemon videos, because they get recommended for me a lot. And I think a lot of people want to redesign Ice-Cube, because it's such a, like... Ice-Cube is one of those Pokemon that really looks like it's not a Pokemon. It looks like a Fakemon, right, that somebody made. Sinjado says, not played 5e, the only version of D&D I've not played. Yeah, that happens. Lagna says, I don't think class/level games are good for that much beyond Sword and Sorcery, but that is me. It's not about Sword and Sorcery because there's nothing about Sword and Sorcery that says that implies levels, right? Level-based games are their own thing. It's just that they're so prevalent and so tied to the fantasy genre that it's hard to see past that. But actually, I bet you there's plenty of games that do fantasy just fine and have nothing to do with levels. And I bet you there's aspects where levels get in the way, right? Horsepoint Mine says, I also have not seen his bare head. It is very gross. Harvester says, I think 4E does a lot of its main strengths very well, but that it does not accommodate a lot of other playstyles well. It made for a fun skeleton for Gamma World 7th edition. It did, yeah. It was nice. Let's surf. Woo! Oh, good. I stalled out the hail. Oh, no. That means it's going to activate it again. All right. What does more damage? Oh, they both do the same amount of damage. All right. Oh, no. That means it's going to... Is it going to get its little tiny... Is it going to get its, like, cubic head back? Yes. You know, it is nice that these gyms are actually getting progressively more challenging. Like, I'm sitting here thinking I might actually have to like use a potion here pretty soon to like get some of my guys back on track. So if this freezes him, I'm gonna be so upset. Okay. Lapras is water ice. I'm gonna try... Nope, that's not gonna work. Yeah, I might... I don't have like an elegant way here. I think I'm gonna try to heal up. I'm gonna sacrifice... yep. So you were right. It's Lapras. I'm gonna sacrifice Oakley to heal up Ribitina. Yeah. Lapras is freaking tough. Bag. Full heal. All the status conditions of a single Pokemon. Oh, I'm gonna have to... I don't have something that does both. That's okay. We'll heal the Freezies first. Defensively, Ice-type is pretty much a liability. Offensively, though, it rules. Yeah. That's why if you pair it with something like Water, where it covers a lot of its... or it covers some of its vulnerabilities, it actually becomes pretty strong, right? I think it's interesting when a type... I think it's interesting when, like, naturally strong types kind of screw each other over. Like, you'd think, like, oh, Steel and Dragon would go together really well, and sure, they have tons of G-Max Resonance. Oakley, no! I think this is the first time I've had one of these guys taken out in a gym battle. Like, this gym battle is actually kind of tough. And also, I probably didn't go in here with the best Pokemon, although I kind of specifically took out my ground type and my flying type, so it's like, well, what else do you want from me, game? So should be able to get in there for free and then heal them. So we'll throw Ribitina in. I would love to see an ability akin to Steelworker where the Pokemon gets stab bonus on ice moves without being an ice type. See, Ice type is bad enough. You don't need to also give the things that it's good at to other types. Hyper Potion, probably. Yeah. For shame, using items. Oh, dry skin. Let's go. Oh, now the hail has stopped. Allow me to introduce you to... No, that's the wrong thing. Allow me to introduce you to... 80 will have to do. G-Max Ribitina. Yeah, the G-Max Resonance. Yeah, that's a really cool effect. Skippy the Wonder Chicken says, Ice and Ground are my favorite typings other than normal. Committing to an Ice Pokemon is like going, I am going to hit you so fast and so hard you can't survive, because if they survive to turn 2, I'm screwed. Yeah, totally. It's kind of the opposite of normal. Right? It's like, normal is kind of like... almost, it's like, nothing deals extra damage to me except for one thing. So I'm going to hit you hard, but if you hit me back, it doesn't matter. I have a bucket of hit points. Alright. That Max Knuckle did not do very much, so let's see if this Max Steel Spike only does a little bit more. Let's try it. Oh, but Water resists Steel. See, it's so good. Water Ice is such a good typing. Alright. Let's just do Max Knuckles. Is one the Loch Ness Monster? Yeah, that's Lapras. Lapras is a Gen 1 Pokemon. It's very popular. People like it a lot. It got, like... Lapras is... Is there a Mega Lapras? Yeah, there's a Mega... You can Mega Evolve Lapras, right? So I think Lapras and Charizard are the only two that have both a Mega Evolution and a G-Max form. So, good for them. Right? There's no Mega Evolution of Pikachu. If there is, then that's wrong. You don't think there's a Mega Lapras? Oh, okay, I might be wrong. Okay, no Mega Lapras, just Gigantamax. Okay, so then it's just Charizard then. Just Golden Boy Charizard. Well, it's supposed to be Britain, right? So there's your like little Loch Ness monster type critter. All right, we did it. That was tough. That was tougher than before. I had to use items. Good job, game. Like you really are stepping up the difficulty. I can see like a little baby coming in here and just being like, I brought my fire type, and it's like, surprise, sucker. Like, you're actually dealing with a bunch of water types. And then just crying and crying. I just want to climb into a hole. Oh, it's okay, Melanie. It's okay, Melanie. You're so fashionable and cute that it doesn't matter. You're pretty good, huh? Of course, seeing my Pokemon lose is sad, but to meet someone so young with such ability is quite grand. That's right. Everybody recognizes the potential in Petunia. Here, take this sparkling ice badge. I've heard people say that like the badges are really ugly in this game, and they kind of are. They probably, it's like they went through and did all of these. Like if you look at Melanie's shirt, like each type has like a really cool graphic for what it is, but those graphics aren't in the metal, like in that big metal that you make, right? It's all kind of like these like very weird stylized doodles. Oh, up to level 50. I can't help but imagine my son challenge you after you become the champion. If that time comes, give him a right thrashing, would you? Is that Gordy? Or what's his name? The rock type guy? Is that her son? Petunia, my sincere congratulations for your victory over gym leader Melanie. Please take this commemorative TM. Icy Wind. I do not foresee me having any Pokemon that can learn Icy Wind. In the TM's pocket. Here's a uniform for you too. It's the same as what Melanie wears. So it's quite popular replica. Yeah, that uniform's cute. The ice badge looks great on you. Keep at it, Challenger Petunia. Some wacky NPC gonna come talk to me now? Okay, let's save. Okay, so Gordy is her son. That's cute. I guess I didn't realize that. Oh, I might be surprised. Oh, maybe Haunter can learn it. It looked like Eminem's mom. All right, let's pause for a second, and like I said, Saint JW redeemed a story about Kansas last time, but I didn't see it. So here's a story about my time in Kansas. One time when I was living in Kansas, I was working for a TV station. So they were like, okay, Rodrigo, we need you to go shoot a Rattlesnake Roundup. If you've been listening to the Major Spoilers podcast for a long time, you've probably heard this story before. But a lot of people are new to the stream, so they're like, okay, go shoot a Rattlesnake Roundup. So I go, and I'm like, I'm not really sure what a Rattlesnake Roundup is. So I go, and I get there, and it's basically this big kind of fairgrounds type place, and there's like a main building, like kind of a it's like a big metal building. Like if you're familiar with like American farms, you've seen it. It kind of looks like an airplane hangar, but it's just like a big it's just like a big white metal barn, right? So instead of being like a tall red building, they're just like big aluminum siding looking buildings. Um, and they're like, okay, yeah, the main, like that's basically the main place where everything's happening. And I'm like, okay. So I go in and I see that there's all of these, um, like individual kind of pens. And I'm like, wow, that's cool. And as I'm walking in, even before I walk in, actually, like before I even walk in, I hear this loud, like constant, like sound, right? And I'm like, oh, it's kind of hot out. That must be the air conditioning. And when I walk in, I take a couple steps in and I realize that that's not the air conditioning. That's actually the sound of probably, definitely more than 1,000 rattlesnakes rattling at once, right? Just like that collectively, there's just like, they're like that's the sound of 1,000 rattlesnakes being kind of pissed off. So the Rattlesnake Roundup was cool. It was there. So here's what a Rattlesnake Roundup is. People go out and they catch as many rattlesnakes as they can, and then there's basically three main things that happen there. You can there was somebody there from K-State. Yeah, they're gonna be really upset if they were actually from KU. They might no, they were from K-State. There was somebody there from K-State doing from like a herpetology students, like basically measuring, sexing, and like checking out a bunch of rattlesnakes to see how the populations were doing, which was great. And those guys had a few buckets of ice water, and they would put the snakes in there before handling them because you don't want to handle a snake that's upset, right? So you put them in there, it makes them drowsy, just like crabs, right? If you've ever like gotten like a live crab, they put it in ice and that makes it lethargic. Same thing with snakes, they're cold-blooded. So they kept them in cold water. It's okay, it doesn't hurt them. It just, obviously they were keeping track of them so that they wouldn't like freeze to death or die of hypothermia. But then, so that was one thing. The other thing is you could eat rattlesnake, which I kind of regret not doing. I have a rule, or I did back when I was out shooting, but I suppose if I went out and shot something now, it would still be a present rule, that I never eat anything while I'm on the shoot, like up until the very end of it, maybe. But this was very far away from where I live, so I'm like, if I eat a rattlesnake and I get the runs, it's too many miles back to the town where I live in, which is probably going to mean many stops at like terrible truck stop bathrooms. So I just didn't want to get sick. Although I was curious and I was interested, I didn't want to get sick, so I didn't eat any. And then the last thing that there is to do at the Rattlesnake Roundup is a show. And basically, there's guys that are live rattlesnake handlers. So they go through and they so there's like smaller pens where there'll be a guy in there with the snakes just kind of walking around, and they have a long pole with a little crook, and they like pick up the snakes, and the snakes are just kind of hanging there, and they would like bring them close to you to see, like they wouldn't have anybody in the audience handling them or anything, but these guys are pros. And then there was kind of like a main show, like an actual show where there's like, okay, like a guy with a microphone is like, okay, Hank here is now going to take off his boots and step on a bunch of rattlesnakes. So they would line up a bunch of rattlesnakes, and Hank would like put his foot on one of them, and this was like on a plastic floor. They would like put his foot in one of them and then just like slide it away, and then put his foot on another one and like slide it away, and didn't get bit. There's a guy who like they put a bunch of like rattlesnakes in a sleeping bag, and a guy gets into the sleeping bag and then he gets back out in the sleeping bag, doesn't get bit. There's a guy who like blows up a balloon and then gets like real close to like a rattlesnake that's like mad, and the rattlesnake will like lunge and pop the balloon from his mouth. So basically what these guys do is they're really good at telling when a rattlesnake is upset, right? Their job is to look at a rattlesnake and be like, this rattlesnake is calm. And if a rattlesnake is calm, it's not going to lunge at you. It's not going to attack, right? They've all presumably been fed, but if it's upset, it might lunge, right? And it's actually really easy to tell when a rattlesnake's upset because it'll let you know. It's just like, frickety frack, like just rattling all day long. So yeah, that was kind of my experience at the Rattlesnake Roundup. It was a weird place. It was a weird place to be, and a weird cultural thing. And I believe that was the last Rattlesnake Roundup in that town. They weren't going to do it again because it just wasn't, cost effective or whatever anymore. Or maybe the people doing it were moving away. So yeah, it's like, again, when you think about like what's American culture, it's like, well, American culture is actually this Rattlesnake Roundup. That's something that probably exists in Mexico because there's rattlesnakes in Mexico, and probably exists in other places where they handle snakes, but it's not the same. There's like this real like cowboy like kind of feel to this whole thing that wouldn't exist anywhere else. It's a very, very American thing. Let's see. Lagna says, I have never lived in Kansas and now I don't want to. I mean, that's fair. Oh! Running Klepto just subscribed.
More stories and Pokemon I know nothing about.
Oh, more. What did that say? Back for more stories on Pokemon I know nothing about. Hey, that's great. I'm glad you're back. Let's see. Real life Safari Zone? Yeah, kinda. CJW says, I was thinking Rattlesnake Roundup was, here are the most popular rattlesnakes in Kansas this week. There are lots of different types of rattlesnakes, so you could do something like that, presumably. Skippy the Wonder Chicken says, I've had canned rattlesnake. It's awful, and they leave the bones in. 0 out of 10. That does sound terrible. St. JW says, I'll try anything. No sure I've ever seen it in the UK, though. Canned rattlesnake? Probably not. Obviously, rattlesnakes are only American, right? They only exist in the Americas. Harvestry, what? Yeah, I don't know what you were saying what to, but I think that story is all very weird. Lagnus says, I'll try anything except stepping on rattlesnakes. Yeah, don't do that. Those guys are professionals, and even then, like, each of those guys has gotten bit at least once, right? So, don't do that. Harvestry says, Kansas has some unresolved aggression towards snakes, apparently. Yeah. And snapping turtles, also yes. No lunch, yes lunge. That's clever. Clever, Harvestry. Ostelai Metalu says, good evening from Europe. Never seen any snakes outside of a zoo. Yeah, I guess it depends where you are in Europe, right? If you're in Ireland, you had a whole saint just drive them all out. So you wouldn't have seen any snakes. There are snakes in Europe. Just not... I don't think a lot of like very dangerous snakes. I think most poisonous snakes start in like lower temperate zones. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of snakes in like warmer places like Spain and Italy and stuff. Lagna says, well, there's my nightmare fuel for tonight. Yep. Harvester says, couldn't have been because of an ethical quandary. Yeah. Running Klepto, back for more stories on Pokemon. Cool. Thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate it. Horsepawn Mine says, like that there were scientists. I like that there were scientists there too. I was worried it would just be animal cruelty, and it does border on that, right? It's like it's like cooking them and eating them, like is to our society acceptable, right? It's like you catch an animal, you cook an animal, you eat an animal, that's fine, as long as the animal doesn't suffer too much, right? You kill them quick and that's it. Um, the roundup part of it, I think, really does border or is straight up animal cruelty, because some of it does involve irritating the snakes, right? But actually, the majority of it is handling, uh, like unaggravated snakes. I think they call them cool. Like a hot snake is a snake that's upset. A cool snake is a snake that is chilling. And snakes are reptiles, right? So reptiles, I think, tend to not have like the like emotional gradient that like mammals are. At least they don't display it. So it's like, I think snakes are just like, whatever, here I am, who cares? Like nothing's trying to eat me, it's fine. And then when they get upset, they're like, bah, you know. So I don't know. I hope that those snakes aren't suffering, because again, the majority of them aren't being purposefully aggravated, but they are taken out of their environment. It probably stresses them. I think the majority of those snakes are then put back, and I'm like, where are you putting them back? Because these snakes were caught all over Kansas. So are you just like dropping all snakes in like around this town? This town suddenly has like 50, like probably like 500 times the amount of snakes that there were before. It's like you're gonna see a dramatic drop in like your prairie dog and like rabbit populations. But I don't know. Maybe they want that. Um, Skippy the Wonder Chicken says people at risk of maiming from large animals is peak American culture, and Brazilian apparently bull riding is wild. Yeah, actually, uh, there are cultures that don't appreciate that, but man, you don't get between a Spaniard and their bullfighting, or a Mexican and their bullfighting. Like, they're all about that. Let's see. Lagnus says we have one poisonous snake here, but it's not very poisonous. It would not make you. It would not make your Pokemon crew. It's more like a bee sting level, and they're very rare and shy. Apparently, what is this? I forgot what country you're actually in, Lagnus, but yeah, it's like the snake native to there is actually a normal type snake. It's not actually a poison type. Harvester says the guy stepping on them and sliding them away sounds also cruelty adjacent. Yeah, right. It's like I don't know. I don't know what upsets a rattlesnake. They weren't hurting them, but they are kind of weirdly forcing them to perform. And like they're reptiles, they don't understand what's happening. You know, it's like, I mean, like I think all animals don't understand what a performance is, right? Even like performing animals like dogs or whatever, they're still like, okay, I'm gonna do this for treats, right? They're not really aware of anything that's of what exactly is happening. Um, Ostella says, yeah, I'm in West Germany. I think it's way too cold for most European snake arts there, but I'm not sure. Maybe they are just rare. That's probable. I mean, I used to live in Ohio, and actually I live in Washington State now, and it's very temperate here. It's like cold a lot of the year and rainy. There are snakes here. I've seen them, but they're not in the cities, right? You have to go very far outside of town to run into a snake around here. Harvester says, I don't love the concept of snake gathering enthusiasts discussing a hot snake. Yeah, it's honestly, it's not as dirty as it sounds. Most enthusiasts are in it actually for the sick thrill of death rather than sex, right? But you never know. Horsepoint Mine says, I'm super down for people who handle wild animals for education, but I get pretty skeeved when it's just for show. Yeah, and again, there were some guys doing that, right? There's like a pen. You walk up to it. There's a cowboy in there. Is like, let me show you this snake. See, this is like they had some copperheads, which are, I think they technically are rattlesnakes, but they're definitely crotalids, right? Or they're in the same family as rattlesnakes. So it's like, yeah, if you run into a copperhead, it doesn't have a copperheads don't have a rattle, but they're still very dangerous, right? So it's like, just because a snake isn't rattling doesn't mean that it's not dangerous. Let's see. Lagnus says, I'm in northern Sweden, so some snakes can deal with the cold. They just sleep a lot of the year and then get eaten by hedgehogs. Yeah. So, yeah, snakes. I believe there are snakes in every continent except Antarctica. Snakes are like just really, really incredible. A really incredible evolutionary advancement. And scientists believe a very recent evolutionary advancement. There are not a lot of snakes in the evolutionary record. They kind of pop in at one point and then spread to a ton of ecological niches. So that eventually you do have like that Titanoboa that actually coexisted with some dinosaurs, I want to say. But yeah, it's like at some point snakes radiated away from lizards and then just hit on this body plan that was like just really amazing. Who would have thought? We spent all that time growing arms and legs so we could get out of the water, and then somebody's like, I'm just gonna get rid of these and just like be able to climb through trees and swim in the water and do whatever I want, and I'm not even gonna have any arms and legs. And I was like, well, good for you, snakes. I guess you don't have to spend the resources on that. Harvester says, I'm sure there are some other sketchy animal effery related traditions here in Canada too, but I'm not immediately aware of examples. I'm sure there are. Snakes are the ultimate streamline. Yes, they absolutely are. 1 second here. All right, let's get back to this. I'm almost certain that I'm about to get jumped by an NPC. So let's see what they say. Doo-doo-doo, just walking out of the gym. Yeah, it never fails. That battle was brilliant. The gym leader was tough, but you had no trouble. I had some trouble. Sir Chester has some really great restaurants. I got some things I want to talk to you about, so let's head to a restaurant to celebrate your win. Oh, sweet. Sonia's buying. The name of the restaurant is Bob's Your Uncle. I'm guessing there's a polite chuckle from all of our UK watchers for Bob's Your Uncle. So yeah, not certain, but I wonder if Skuntank can learn Icy Wind or Slowbro. Well, let's check. Let's see if any of the guys I've got on me right now can learn it. Okay, so yeah, Slowbro. Actually, a lot of them can learn it. I thought like for sure, why would any of these guys be able to learn it? But actually, all of these guys can learn it. Icy Wind. I mean, Icy Wind will like mess up a dragon Pokemon. I really have to like go through and like... Oh, Oakley can learn Flamethrower too. I know Skuntank learns it naturally, so Dr. Violet can learn it, but this guy with a Flamethrower... That's something to think about. Yeah, accessible ice moves are neat, yeah. It's like, none of them can learn Draining Kiss because none of them are like cute fairy babies. But they can all learn Icy Wind for some reason. Oh, Peppers can learn Heat Wave. See, like... I just like that 10 accuracy that it like gives up. I don't know if I'm down with it. Like, it just really sucks to miss with stuff. Darkest Lariat. No, none of these guys can learn Darkest Lariat. Cosmic Power, Drill Run. I know that Nidoking can learn. Our Nidoking can learn Drill Run. Brave Bird, Poison Jab, obviously Stealth Rock, High Horsepower, Bug Buzz, Leech Life, U-Turn, Snore, Low Kick, Body Press. Wait, who can learn? Oh, Herbatina can learn Low Kick. Yeah, Venoshock, obviously. Hex. Dig. Yeah, I expect a lot of these guys can actually learn Dig. Dig is like a very widely available TM. Yeah, I need to sit down and look at each of these guys and be like, do I want to teach them something? I'm very intrigued about teaching Flamethrower to that Slowbro, because then it would have, if it has a poison and a psychic move and then a water move and a fire move, that's actually a huge amount of coverage. So I might just do that. Especially because Flamethrower is such a good move. Let's see. Bah, no Draining Kiss. I love a special HP stealing move. Yeah, absolutely. Harvester says, oh, I err on the side of 100 accuracy at all times. Low kick not working in raids is some nonsense. Right is like, apparently I can't deal 10,000 damage to this kaiju. Yeah, I was upset when I like sat down to figure out max raids, and it's like, yeah, all of the weight based moves basically don't work. I was a little sad because I thought I was like, I figured something out. I'm gonna roll in there and just use like Grass Knot on everything and just obliterate it, but no, it doesn't work. Got that gym badge, Petunia? Nice one. I don't see why people think Hop is annoying. I got it at first because he's like so like, I'm gonna be the best. But like, again, Hop goes through the character arc that our protagonist doesn't go through, right? It's like, we just go through the world as like this wide-eyed mannequin, like just winning battles, just like pew 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 pew. And it's like Hop has to actually deal with like expectations and family and defeat and victory. Like, Hop has a lot going on. He has to deal with frickin' Bead. Lagna says, what published game does pet monster slash animal companion slash familiar best? Maybe a Dragon Rider game? I don't know. Moves that work in regular play but not in raids is rough, and it's too much micromanaging for me to swap between. Yeah, I tend to have raid Pokemon and like Pokemon for other stuff. Did you breed these mons with any special egg moves or abilities you wanted to use or abuse? So some of them do have some like really kick-ass egg moves. Like actually that our Toxicroak has Bullet Punch. I think both Bullet Punch and Revenge may be egg moves. And yeah, it just like makes it incredibly powerful from the get-go, right? Because Bullet Punch is a priority move, and Steel-type moves hit a lot of things. So our Venusaur has Petal Dance, which is less important now, but early on in the game, Petal Dance just hits like an absolute truck, right? So some of them have egg moves, some of them don't. Basically, my what I want to say, my standard for egg moves was when I go and I get this Pokemon, does it already have egg moves? And because I've done a lot of like surprise trading, where I just like trade random things, I would be like, oh, here's a Krogunk, and it has all these egg moves, so I'm gonna like incorporate this guy into the breeding line so that I can get them. So yeah, but some no. It's just like you saw that Ghastly, like that Ghastly had like Lick and like Lick and Confuse Ray at level 1, and it's like, yep, it's just a regular Ghastly. A regular Ghastly with very good stats, but yeah, no egg moves. Hop's not so bad. He does start off strong, but he has some real growth. Yeah. Life's a Pitch says, have we got Rodrigo's opinions on the new starter names yet? No. You guys wanna? Do you guys wanna? Let's get through this, just this little scene, and then we'll talk about Gen 9, because I'm sure people want to talk about it. Um, I've been trying to find out more about the Darkest Day and the Sword and Shield of Pokemon. Still no luck. Oh, there just happens to be a tapestry at Bob's Your Uncle. What's this? A new chapter in the old gallery? A fifth tapestry? An absolutely fantastic poster. Exactly. Bob with his brilliant smile must be part of the legend. Wait, what are you on about? Don't confuse. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. I like that. That's a cute joke. The heroes look sad, and where are the sword and shield? Oh no, they died. Some kind of seal? I guess it could be that they were sealed away, or maybe they've gone into some kind of sleep. Based on those statues we saw back in Stow-on-Side, the sword and shield were actually two Pokemon, right? That's right. We're going to keep repeating this because this is a baby game for babies, and we want you to understand what's happening. You remember the Pokemon we met that day? Do you think it could have been one of them? Either the sword or the shield Pokemon? You met them? Come on, you know what I'm talking about, right, Petunia? Petunia doesn't know. She has blocked that out. She only cares about fashion and poison. Not too sharp when it's not about battle, huh? Yep, that's Petunia. Don't you remember that mad Pokemon we ran into the fog that day? Oh yeah. Don't you think that could have been it? Oh, that's right. You lot have been in the slumbering Wailed. How do you pronounce that? Weld? Wailed? I only started on this journey because my gran told me to, but this is turning out to be too much fun. You've got to tell me more. How about we discuss this over a meal? Go on, what do you want to eat? Let's get our orders in. Alright, Sonia's buying. Fascinating. Alright, the next thing to do now that we're done eating is to have a look around Sir Chester. Let's inspect the hero's bath. Okay, let's save here. And we'll talk about next-gen Pokemon. Let me... Yeah, let's do that, so that it doesn't keep ring-a-linging at us. Let's see. Yeah, story first. Gotta get Petunia more than 5 minutes further into the story. Yeah. Harvesters, I'm very interested to hear regarding impressions of Gen 9 stuff so far. That looks like a holiday camp rep from the 60s. Petunia is such a mood. Fashion, poison, and blank stares into the void. Yeah. Um, it's like there's a bad. It's kind of a bad connotation to a bimbo and a kind of a positive one to like a himbo. If you could go back into the translate back into a woman, I think that's Petunia. She's just like an absolute like rocket when it comes to like fighting and poison and fashion, and then like nothing else enters her like nothing else penetrates that hair. I'd always heard Wald, like the name Waldo. Okay. Is every new Pokemon game a new generation? No. Okay. Let's. We might lose the closed captioning here because I'm going to the browser, and unfortunately, that tends to be how it works. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Okay. Um. So is every new Pokemon? So this is the official trailer for, or the official like teaser, right? Don't look at my recommendations, guys. Um, is Where are we at? Is every new Pokemon game a new generation? No. So Arceus doesn't count as a new generation. Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl doesn't count as a new generation. You kind of have to, like, if you're not tuned into it, you have to wait for Game Freak to tell you when a new generation is. So this coming game is a new generation, a brand new um, main Pokemon game. Is going to be Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Um, I think this teaser is really weird. Like, clearly they only had like 15 seconds worth of material to show, and so they do this whole thing with like this security guard walking into the Game Freak offices. By the way, like, look at the size of this room. Reportedly, even though Pokemon is like the most colossal, most lucrative, and like most recognizable franchise in the world, bigger than Mickey Mouse, bigger than Harry Potter, bigger than Superman. Um, Reportedly, Game Freak is still a very small company, right? There was like Game Freak has like a stake in the Pokemon company, which is the company that handles a lot of stuff. Basically, that handles the Pokemon brand. So when I look at this, I'm like, yeah, I kind of believe that these are the Game Freak offices. There's just like six people there, just like furiously trying to code games together in 1 year. Arceus and this game are coming out in the same year. It's rebonkulous. Pokemon needs to slow down. They really do. They didn't need to put out another game this year. They really did not. But here they are. There's going to be a new Pokemon game by the end of this year. Um, yeah, this whole framing device is wild to me. Yeah, absolutely. Some real never-ending story vibes in this trailer. Yeah. Generations can usually be denoted by the gimmick in each game or the most recent Pokemon generation you can transfer to it. Let's Go Pikachu is a Gen 7 game because the most recent Pokemon you can get in it are Alolan forms. That's I, Skippy. I know you're trying to be helpful, but that's actually to someone who's not tuned in. That's more confusing. Like because you don't like unlike some of us nerds, you don't automatically know what a what Pokemon is from which generation, right? So, I mean, I'm not like I'm not saying like don't say that. Like it's fine, but yeah, it's like that's helpful for Pokemon people, but maybe not so much for other people. Lagna says, I wait for Origo to tell me. I don't even know what Game Freak is. Game Freak is the company that originally made Pokemon. That's what Game Freak is. Um, yeah, Game Freak is the company that continues to put out the video games. So the story of Pokemon is there was this little company called Game Freak, and they made a little game called Pokemon, and that game blew up into the stars and became again the most successful franchise ever created. And so in order to handle that, Game Freak and Nintendo sort of like sliced off a bit of each other and put it together, and that became the Pokemon Company. So the Pokemon Company does the card game, the anime, the manga, the all of the toys, all of that other stuff. Everything else is handled by the Pokemon Company. The Pokemon Company contracted Niantic to make Pokemon Go, right? So Game Freak actually doesn't have anything to do with Pokemon Go, is my understanding, other than the fact that Game Freak creates each new generation of Pokemon and those then get put into Pokemon Go. Like, it's kind of its own separate thing. So it's weird the way that it works, but that's how it works. Um, Harvester says, I'd be happy to see Gen 9 launch in late 2023. Absolutely. To give the team plenty of time to develop the game without putting the teams through serious crunch. Yeah, and you just know that that's happening, right? I feel like Game Freak has never left crunch for a single moment. They must drop like flies. Yeah, it's gotta be terrible, right? It's like I'm watching this and I'm like, guys, I could have waited, and my nephews could have waited. It's like, and kids that are younger, like my nephews are teenagers now, so it's like they're not little babies anymore. But kids can wait. Kids don't know what year it is, right? They don't know that the last Pokemon game came out earlier this year or 2 years ago or whatever. Like you can wait. Other franchises wait. Um, But yeah, let's have a look at this, at the rest of this. So yeah, real life Game Freak offices. Coffee starts shaking. Books churning. Yeah, it's like, is he going to get transported to another world? Because that just happened in Arceus. No, it's just like a frame on the wall is shining and showing him footage of this video game, I guess. I don't know what's going on in this trailer. I saw a YouTuber be like, here are 76 things you missed in that trailer. And I'm like, probably. So this is the place. I haven't read anything about this, but I'm guessing this is going to be based on Spain. Um, because it doesn't look very Latin American. Um, but it could be based on like again, because the starters have Spanish sounding names. I'm guessing this is supposed to be based on Spain, which is fine. Um, I feel like Game Freak. Yeah, I remember hearing they had 200 employees 2 years ago. Last total I caught wind of was 160. Yeah, totally. Um, all the speculation I've heard is specifically Spain. Yeah. So this to me looks like Spain, right? Spain is actually a very large country and it straddles the Mediterranean, so it has all the biomes you need, right? There are mountains, there are beaches, there are lakes, there are rivers, everything you need to have lots of different environments. It's there. Oh man, oh man, I'm ready to tilt at the windmills. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, that'd be great. There, I hope that there's a Pokemon that's like um, probably a horse. You'd probably have to mix Don Quixote with this horse, called like um something like um what I want to say. So the horse is named Rocinante, right? So the Quixote's horse is named Rocinante, so it would be something like if it was like a dumb dude bro, it'd be like Brocinante. Or if it was supposed to be like addled, it would be like I don't know. I'll come up with something. But yes, there should be a Quixote Pokemon. Um, I suppose it could be Portugal or maybe the Iberian Peninsula. That's true. And Portuguese is very similar to Spanish, so what I'm hearing as Spanish could be Portuguese because I don't know Portuguese. I'm just ready to see Sir Fetch writing something at them. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That'd be cool. Um, but probably not because Sir Fetch is an Alolan, or not an Alolan, a Galarian variant. So they probably wouldn't put Galarian um, Farfetch'd into this game. I think. I don't know. Horsepoint Mind says, "Wow, I stepped away for just a second. We're doing Quixote Fakemon. I love this channel. Yeah, it's it gets up there. I'll swear here and now that if Brocinante is in the game, I'm in. Yeah, Brocinante, right? It's like, yeah, it's like a horse that's like, yeah, I can do this, man, no problem. And maybe it's real dumb about it. It's like a part of Don Quixote is that he's also old, but it's like, yeah, you don't need that. Okay, so yep. So something that I haven't seen people talk about a lot is here's a huge change. I don't know if you guys can see my pointer, but here's a huge change to the way that faces look, right? This doesn't look anything like Petunia. It's not like it's different. I wouldn't say that it's like more realistic or anything. It's just a different style. Um, and like the Arceus protagonist looks a lot like the Sword and Shield protagonist, right? It's basically the exact same face, but this face is different. So that's something. Again, I don't feel like it's if that's good or bad. Also, thank you for once again absolutely lily white protagonist. There are dark skinned people in the Iberian Peninsula, guys. The OLED. I didn't know you were in this game. Okay, so this is what happens. This guy gets transported into a Pokemon world, but the Pokemon world is not finished. So he finds an item that exists in both worlds, the OLED, and then gets popped out. OLED actually kind of sounds like something like a never-ending story thing, right? It's like you must find the OLED. That is the only thing that'll get you out. So this was just a very fast isekai, right? 15-second isekai. Well, we do get Stonejourner in this game apparently, so we could get Surfetched. I'm not gonna say no. Like they can do whatever the heck they want, but it's like Surfetched is tied to a regional variant. So I would be surprised if they do put it in here. Maybe they will. Maybe they'll do something else. Maybe they'll just take that Surfetched and instead of turning into Surfetched, it turns into like a Steel type or something, like a more Quixote Pokemon. I don't know. When I grew up, there was a Don Quixote cartoon on TV. It was better than the book, as some of the more gross jokes were dumped. That's cool. I don't think that I've ever seen that Don Quixote cartoon. There was a cartoon uh, for Cantinflas, who is like a very, very, very popular actor named Mario Moreno, and is like this character that he does. And he had a cartoon show, and it was nice because it was produced in, I think it was actually made in Spain. So it had a lot of Mexican history and had a lot of Spanish history. So it was nice growing up, getting like this deluge of cartoons from the United States, and actually plenty from Japan, because in Mexico there was never that like thing where like anime wasn't making it over. Like Mexico has always gotten anime, right? It's not like the U.S. that only discovered it in like the year 2000. Um, but so yeah, it was nice to have a Mexican and a Spanish kind of thing to at least balance it out a little bit. Iberia was completely conquered by dark-skinned people for a very long time. While that doesn't come up much in these kind of inspired projects, absolutely, you're absolutely right. Not only it's like all of these places, right? Um, one thing is like all you European people will love to reminisce on this, I'm sure. One thing that I realized, I think when I was a teenager and I started reading up on stuff, is that all the stuff that the Europeans did in the Americas is stuff that they've been doing to each other this whole time, right? It's like, I'm going to learn more about Spain. It's like, oh, here are the Basques. They hate the Spanish government. What about the Asturians? They hate the Spanish government. Great. It's like all of these like provinces that were united, I think, by the Castilians, basically, which means they were basically conquered, right? And it's like they still retain their, um, like Asturians, Andalusians, all of these like different cultures are still somewhat separate from Spain. Um, and it's like, yeah, there's tons to draw from, but they're probably not going to get into that, unfortunately. Um, is that my character, or is that me wearing the deal with it glasses? That's cool. It's like that Eddie Izzard bit. We don't care that you kill your own people. We've been trying to do it for years. Yeah, definitely. All right, let's look at the starters. Somebody type out the name of the starters because I don't have them handy. Oh, here we go. I think they do a close up on each and then back to the wide shot. Okay, no. So the wide shot is just what you get up front. Oh, no, don't mess with the quality, please. I can barely handle this as it is. Okay. Um, Quaxley, right? Okay. Um, Sprigatito, Fuecoco, and Quaxley, right? Life's a Pitch says, "Oh, I bet they're gonna do a super tasteless thing about the running of the bulls." Um, Probably. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Taurus is around, right? Let's see. So you have Sprigatito, Fuecoco, and Quaxley. And it's very interesting. I don't mind the Spanish stuff. Um, like Sprigatito is a good enough name, but it's long. It's like Spanish is a language that doesn't shy away from like multi-syllable stuff. So like if you think about something like I mean, Sprigatito, that's 4 syllables, right? Totodile, Charmander, Bulbasaur, um, I don't know, Chimchar, right? It's a long name for a Pokemon in general. 4 syllables is kind of rare. Um, but you need that to use Gatito. They could have just gone with Sprigato, um, but I bet you that some other evolution is going to have the word gato in it, so they wanted to do gatito. It's like, how do you say kitten in Spanish? Oh, it's just small cat. It's like, oh, well, we were hoping for a different word. Okay, 1 second. Harvestry points out for alligator, right? For alligator, 5 syllables. In fact, such a long name that they have come out and said that the reason why there's not an O at the end, like Feraligator, why it's just TR, is because they ran out of characters. Like, you can only have a Pokemon's name back then be so many characters, and they ran out. So that's why Feraligator is just Gator at the end. Um, oh, this could be regional form of Taurus, as Skippy. Apparently, Taurus isn't from any region we've been to before. Right? Yeah, they could totally do a regional Taurus. Um, Lagnus says Happy Leaf Cat, Odd Sealed, and Hat Duck. That's my very low level Pokemon knowledge guesses of the names. Yeah. So okay. So this middle one, Fuecoco, is very interesting to me because we've had conversations on this channel and we've talked about it. A very easy way to do a dual grass fire type would be to be a pepper. So it's weird to have the fire type be a plant, right? That's strange. And I'm like, are they gonna do it? Are they gonna make him a fire grass type? I don't think so, but they might. And that's interesting. It's a weird step to take. Um, Fuecoco is not a great name, um, but it's like when you think about what words do English speakers know in Spanish, fuego is one of them. And then coco with crocodile or crocodile um, it makes sense. But here's the thing it's interesting that it's fuecoco and not fuecroco, right? Because in Spanish or in English, the word crocodile, right? Crocodile. In Spanish, the word is cocodrilo. So the R shifts all the way from second letter all the way to the end of the word. For some reason, I don't know why. Um, oh, chocolate pod instead of bell pepper. That's possible too. But here's the thing: in both of those instances, it kind of pisses me off that a pepper-based Pokemon goes to Spain, right? It's like a pepper-based Pokemon should be in the Americas because that's where those spicy peppers come from. There are peppers in other countries, but it's like again, you go to Europe and it's like, what's one of the fun mechanics of Pokemon Sword and Shield based in Britain? Oh, it's curry. Curry, that thing that's only from Britain, right? It's like obviously not. It was brought there from other countries through uh, our old friend imperialism. And it's the same thing with peppers. So it's like, it's like here I am. Maybe I'm just a Mexican sitting here in my feelings about things. But it's like, I can't believe that they did a pepper, you know? Like, no matter what, I mean, there probably could be peppers that are native to Spain, but the majority of peppers that Spanish people eat nowadays, I think, are like actually come from Mexico and Latin America. So I don't know. I don't know. I could be wrong. I did not sit down to study the taxonomy of peppers before I sat down to do this. Could be wrong about that. As far as Quaxley, a perfectly functional duck Pokemon, right? Um, very cute, cuter than was like Swanna and Ducklet. Um, I think all three of them very much look like starters. They have that that je ne sais quoi that makes them like they're lower evolutions, but they're a little bit more complex. They've got a lot of stuff going on. Um, Chocolate is absolutely not EU native. No, it's not. It's chocolate was invented in Mexico. Skippy the Wonder Chicken says, I don't really count on Japanese companies for nuanced takes on colonialism with Okinawa right there. I mean, yeah, like someday when we do Street Fighter something, we'll get into how I feel about the Japanese looking out across the world and being like, this seems fun, and just like taking like the weirdest, like dumbest takes just across the board, right? It, um, Life's a Pitch says it's the most flavorful food we have. Otherwise, the mechanic would be eating wet bread. I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's like we can't when we again, sorry to get literary on everybody, or I guess political. When you take stuff from the real world and import it into your game, what else are you bringing with it, right? Very, very frequently, you're going to be bringing colonialism with it. Like, that's just something that happens. So, two things from Sword and Shield, right? One, Curry. Two, Copper Raja, right? It's like the existence of Copper Raja in um, in Galar, and a Pokemon named Copper Raja and Curry is just like it's just this like imperialism like double whammy, right? And it's like clearly completely unintentional, but there it is, just like there it is. Um, I'm pretty certain bell peppers and most chilies are from India, Africa, or the Americas. Yeah, it's like below the equator stuff. Um, Actual British food would be fish and chips or fries, except not fries. Yeah, chips. Yeah, totally, absolutely. And then like the different things should just be like what you have with them, right? Like vinegar. Like people have vinegar with their fish and chips, or like horseradish sauce. Is that something that people have with it? I don't know. I have no idea. Um, Je ne sais quack. Yep, that's right. That duck has that je ne sais quack. British food is meat pies, sure. Paprika is also North American spice, yeah. Yeah, I was always a bit put off by Copper Raja, right? It feels like it feels weird. Like I'm looking at it and I'm like, ugh, I don't know how I feel about this elephant being here. Life's a Pitch says maybe it's just my ignorance, but I feel like X next to L is more of a Mesoamerican thing. I I don't know much Spanish from Spain that has the XL sound, but there's Quaxley. That's true. Um, and I did notice that. Um, and again, when you look at Quaxley and Fuecoco, you might think like, well, this could be a Mesoamerican thing. This could be Mexico. This could be, you know, Puerto Rico or Argentina or something. But I don't think so. And the reason why I don't think so is because I think that Quaxley the fact that it sounds a little bit like a word in Nahuatl. I think Quaxley is like um like somebody named like Wesley, or like you have like a Pokemon named like Diggersby, right? It's this like that ly suffix type thing actually conveys that sort of like British sea captain thing, and I think that's what they're going with for Quaxley. Um, that's my take on it anyway. Tartar sauce, mushy peas, gravy. Yes. Skippy the Wonder Chicken says, "Oh, please don't be a conquistador duck." Oh, that would be terrible. That would be awful. And I can't. Looking at him, I can't say that they're not going to do that. In fact, that's a great name for a. That's a great name for the final evolution, right? Conquista duck. Oh God, I hope. Oh God, I can't believe we just put that out in the universe. I hope that's not the case. That would be terrible. Um, Quaxquistador. Yep. So yeah, that's and of course we just kind of ignore Sprigatito, who's just like a green cat, right? I think that a lot of the time grass types just end up that way. Um, it's just like, what's grassy about Grookey? It's green. It carries a stick around. It's like, well, couldn't any like doesn't like timber carry a stick around? Shut up, okay? It's green. And it's like I feel that happens to grass types a lot. Is like rather than because your usual um your like run of the mill grass Pokemon are already doing all the flowers, all the fruit, everything else, right? So you're kind of stuck with like, oh, what are we gonna do with this guy? Um, Sprigatito could be a bipedal Zoro ripoff, sure. Vine Rapier, yeah. I really hope Sprigatito keeps quadrupedal. So that's another thing, right? Um, I think his final evolution is a hi hat. Yeah, that's Grookey's final evolution. Trigato for evolution 2, yeah, that could be it. Um, so yeah, that's another thing, right? Is like, are these guys going to stay? It's like Fuecoco already has a like kind of kaiju-ish, Godzilla-ish body, right? So we can hope that it's going to turn into a big monster, right? I hope that because I like it when starters turn into big kaiju instead of people. I have gone on record saying that like I do not like the Galar final evolutions of the starters because they're basically like humans carrying briefcases, wearing hats, and going to work, right? That's what they look like. Um, uh, I would imagine that Quaxley is probably going to end up pretty anthropomorphic. He's already, as a bipedal creature, he's already anthropomorphic. I would love for Sprigatito to remain a four-legged thing. I saw somebody, because, immediately, it's like, the moment this hit the internet, 10 million fan arts were created. So I saw somebody doing like a Smilodon thing, like a saber-toothed tiger with Sprigatito. That would be great. Um, I'm sure we can find a some sort of plant. Oh, they can just call him Milodon, right? Because Milo's a plant, something like that. Um, but my guess is that Sprigatito is the girl, which means they're probably going to turn it. It's gonna end up like Fennekin, where they're going to like. It's gonna end up wearing like a little dress, or like Poplio, right? Where it's like even boy Poplio's turned into a pretty mermaid lady, which is fine. I'm not saying that's bad, but my guess is they're going to want to do that with Sprigatito. Um, Skippy the Wonder Chicken says, I enjoy my Wednesday Pokemon support group. This is a good stream. Oh, well, I'm glad. Yeah, we can get it all out. Life's a Pitch says, I love all the memes with their feet taped to the ground. Huh? Enjoy or I love all the memes with their feet taped to the ground. I'm not sure I get that. Duraludon, Corviknight, and Dreadnought were my favorites from Gen 8 because they're so big and monstrous when they Giganta. Yeah. I started out not liking Duraludon, and now it's one of my favorites. Corviknight is, I hold, the best design from Gen 8. I think it's the best looking new Pokemon. It might be the best looking new Pokemon in a while. Like I think somebody is going to try, like is going to have to try and knock it down. But I think Corviknight is just fantastic visual design. Um, yeah, Harvester says even if Fuecoco is a pepper croc, it might be a poison type or a fairy type later. Spicy pepper could be poison, and good Pokemon tend towards fairy type. That's true. It could be a poison type, yeah. Um, right, Primarina, yep. Uh, Ostella says Displacer Beast, but with vines, Hexapedal. That would be something. That would actually be great. Yeah, I would love for Sprigatito to turn into a monster. I'm right now. I'm going with Fuecoco. And I'm definitely gonna want to see the final evolutions before I pick. But right now, I think Fuecoco does it for me. If I find out that Sprigatito turns into like a big burly monster, then then it'll be a contest, right? Because Sprigatito's cute. I am certain that Quaxley is going to turn into some sort of like sea captain. I'm hoping, and not a conquistador. Please God, let them not have done that. Um, but we'll see. Shiny Corviknight is probably my all-time favorite for that gen, shortly behind with Green Dreadnought. Yeah. Liza Pitch says, "Oh, there are memes of the front paws of Sprigatito with tape on so that they don't become bipedal when they evolve." Oh, I see. That's great. Yeah, totally. I'm glad to know that there's like at least a wedge of the Pokemon fandom that agrees with me that like too many. Um, it's like, do we need to have a grass, fire, and water starter every time? Maybe that's tradition, and the Kanto starters started that. It's like, but I feel like we've moved away from some of the other design ideas of the Kanto starters. Like number one, only Squirtle is like a thing, right? It's like Squirtle's a turtle, but Bulbasaur and Charmander are just like they're really fantasy reptiles. Like, uh, uh, Charmander is like a little dragon, and Bulbasaur has like ears. It has like cat ears, right? Like they're just monsters. They're not specific animals. And for a long time, basically since Gen 2, uh, probably since Gen 3, all the starters have been just animals, right? And it's very rare to get something like I think Chikorita was the last. What the heck is this starter? After that, it's all been animals. Correct me if I'm wrong. By all means, I forget stuff. Um, sorry, lol. Sorry, food Pokemon. Make this game Spanish Cosmic Horror. I will eat every complaint I've ever had about this franchise and then eat my hat with mustard. So they kind of did do Cosmic Horror in Sun and Moon. Like the Ultra Beast are actually kind of Pokemon Cosmic Horror. Like they are. Not only, and they're Pokemon Cosmic Horror for two reasons. One, they're weird and their design is very strange and doesn't quite match the design of other Pokemon, which I think is good because there's an in-story reason for that. And also, their types are weird, right? It's like, oh, here's this weird clown Pokemon. It's a fire type. What? Why? It's like so. It's like the horror, the existential terror comes from Pokemon fans looking at it and being like, I don't understand what that is at a glance. It's not green. How can I tell that it's a grass type, right? So that's why I think Ultra Beasts actually do Pokemon Cosmic Horror about as well as this franchise can do. Um, the duck turns into a Captain Haddock style Pokemon. Whiskey and a pipe. I can only hope. Angry Drunk is a move he can learn. Yeah. Um, Harvester says Bulbasaur and its line resemble dino frogs, and Charmander is based on the myth of the salamander. Yeah, it's a dragon, right? It's not an animal. Um, Frog with plants on its back and Indescribable Lizard on Fire are fantastic designs. Gen 2 was great because for Alligator might be a croc, but it's a hunchback weirdo and I love them. Yeah, Gen 2, so I believe almost all Pokemon for Generation 2 were created during the Generation 1 design, just a lot of them didn't fit in. So the Gen 2 starters carry a lot of the Gen 1 designs, and if you look at Totodile is like everything that I don't like right now, right? It's a specific animal and it becomes more anthropomorphic. But actually, Totodile is my favorite Pokemon, and the Feraligatr line is my favorite because they do it right. Totodile is a weird looking alligator that looks like a little toddler. And Feraligatr is a kaiju, right? And Croconaw in the middle is a caveman, right? It's just like very weird, very like very big design choices, right? And I love them. I'm sure some people hate them, but I absolutely love them. Um, so yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think um, about the new starters? This is not much information, right? A lot of people are looking at the wide open stuff and being like, okay, okay, wild area, Legends Arceus, like more and more. Like this looks more like your typical um, Pokemon route, right? But because we're seeing it from this angle, like that's not the angle that we usually see routes in Pokemon from, right? It's usually this top-down angle. So here, they're either wanting us to think that this very linear route is actually not as linear, or they could be sort of telegraphing to us, hey, even the linear stuff is not going to be that linear, which is nice. Um, Skippy says, "Oh yes, Ultra Beasts were pretty great. Terrifying extra dimensional bugs are kind of terrifying. I think if they did Spanish cosmic horror, I'd be hoping for more fish people, more tentacles, and like moodier because Sun and Moon are just so Hawaiian that it's not really disturbing at all. That's true. It was a weird choice to put that in Hawaii in the Hawaii version, but I don't know. That's just when they did it. Harvester says, I like the new starters, but I am cautiously optimistic. Yeah, we'll see. Skippy says, honestly, I think the new starters look like Fakeamon. I'm sure I'll probably like them eventually, but these didn't feel as iconic as a lot of previous starters. Okay, that's fair. Lagnus says, I like the cat and the hinted promise of tilting at windmills. There you go. Life's a Pitch says, I would definitely choose Sprigatito based only on the starter. I don't usually pick Pokemon with built-in clothes. That's fair. I usually don't either, but in Sword and Shield, I didn't have an option. Um, yeah, good times. Let's see. Let's take a quick break. You guys feel free to talk amongst yourselves. I will be right back. Oof, sorry, I didn't even leave any music playing for you guys. Um, let's see. So yeah, I guess some things we haven't talked about. What do you guys think about the names? I think it's weird. I think the names are weird because scarlet is just like a type of red, so it's like scarlet and violet. Um, it's like yeah, violet. We haven't done Pokemon Purple yet, so that's fine. Um, especially if it, I was gonna say, especially if it's Spain, it would make sense for it to be like Pokemon Saffron and Pokemon Violet. But Saffron, like again, it's like I don't remember where Saffron's from. That might be another colonial acquisition. But yeah, it could be Pokemon Yellow and Pokemon. I guess there already is a Pokemon Yellow. I forgot. Yeah, it's kind of hard when you do colors because so many of them are already done, right? It's like they did Ruby and Sapphire, which was back to red and blue, but this time they're doing red and purple. It's a little weird. We got some ads, so it wasn't silent. So okay. Lagnus says, I'm trying to think what other obscure RPG I can think of right now. Scarlet makes me think of Carmen. Sure. Saffron City is already a thing too. Sadly, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. When you keep expanding a world, you start running out of stuff. Sword and Shield, I feel, was an inspired name. Like it really feels like somebody, like people were just sitting there like, what are we gonna call this game? What are we gonna call this game? Somebody was like, think of like pairs of things, and they're like, I don't know, Boom and Bust. No, we're not gonna call a Pokemon game that. Uh, Dark and Handsome. No. Uh, and it's like somebody came up with Sword and Shield, and it's like that's it. And they just really ran with it, as you can see from our very sluggish crawl through the storyline. Speaking of which, maybe we should get back to that. Let me find it. Boop. Escarlata and Violeta don't lead to any more hints either. No. Maybe we're getting a return to form, like a French vanilla magic card. Maybe you get something closer to green and red. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I wouldn't. I don't think I would want that, but I mean, I guess it depends what that means as a return to form. Like, if the return to form is more kaiju, then I'm all in on it. If the return to form is like HMs, then I'm like, no thanks. Pokemon Salt and Peppa, yeah, that's a good one. Um, I don't know if you guys have seen the So This Is Basically videos. Um, they're pretty good. They're on a YouTube channel called Jello Apocalypse. Um, and the So This Is Basically Pokemon is like Pokemon Ketchup and like the fake Pokemon game that they're talking about is Pokemon Ketchup and Pokemon Mustard, and then they come out with Pokemon Relish after that. It's cute. It's a good idea. Dark and Handsome and a third version Tall. Yeah, exactly. Um, they say this is where the two heroes came to soothe their wounds after the battle to bring down that evil presence long ago. Nowadays, only Pokemon really use the hero's bath, though. Who exactly were the heroes that bathe here? Well, they were probably Pokemon. It's really, so again, not to get too high-minded here, but it's like guys like Rose, right, are in charge of Galar, and Sonia is like really putting together very basic aspects of Galarian history that have just gone unexamined, right? She's like the first person like asking these questions. And it's like, yeah, it's actually tough when you have a hypothesis that doesn't match like doesn't match common wisdom. It's kind of an uphill climb, so I don't know, it's something to think about. Well, just like less story, more wandering around, catching Pokemon, doing gyms in whatever order you find them. That's what I meant by a return to form, because the story aspects haven't gone over super well over the last few gens. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about it, and it's like maybe now's the time to actually do the opposite, to have a bombastic storyline and like cutscenes. It's like the Switch is good enough that you can do a cutscene where you can use whatever character models you have and block them through a scene. Like you can do that. You can absolutely do that. Pokemon doesn't, because Pokemon is like a game that's always like held together with like tape and like shoestrings. Met a Pokemon. You met a mysterious Pokemon. Perhaps you two can become new heroes. Yeah, let's go. What, like some hero waving around a sword and shield? Pull the other one. Though I guess I'd fancy a sword if I had to take my pick. That's cute. I don't remember if he says a shield if you're playing in Pokemon Sword, but that would be cute if he did. What kind of battle do you think the heroes had back then? I think maybe they fought... Why don't we show her, Petunia? I think we can pull off a real heroic battle. Give me a minute. No, I'm just gonna jump in. After that curry, I feel like I've got the energy to wrestle. Oh, to wrestle a Beware. That's cute. I don't entirely understand your reasoning, but I might just as well see what you can do. Okay, so... Again, just stopping for a second to talk. And by for a second, I mean for minutes on end. So we were talking about Ultra Beasts, right? And like one thing that nobody brings up in this game, and I haven't seen anybody bring up elsewhere, is that in Galar's past, and then again during the events of Sword and Shield, like the big scary thing that happens is that Eternatus shows up, right? Eternatus being this like big scary legendary Pokemon. And it's like, if you look at Eternatus, he's clearly an Ultra Beast. Like, he comes from a different dimension and shows up and wrecks things. Nobody calls him an Ultra Beast, because there really aren't Ultra Beasts in Galar, unless you get the DLC. And they probably don't want to necessarily draw the comparison, but if you look at his design, and the fact that he comes from a different dimension, like... And, like, I've never heard anybody else say that. I'm like, Eternatus is very clearly an Ultra Beast. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Harvester says, truly non-linear gyms that adjust teams/levels based on how many badges you have could be sweet, and tie plot-locked mechanics like HMs used to be, and modern stuff like surfing bike, to non-gym related plot elements. And that could feel more organic too, right? It's like, you go off exploring, and you just get to the edge of the water, and it's like, well, you can't cross the water. You will be able to cross the water once you get X, Y, and Z. But that might be a while, depending on what you choose to do. Meanwhile, you're off having other adventures, and then eventually you get that, and it's like, oh, now you can cross the water. Yeah, sure. Yeah. That's right, Harvestry. You see it. You see it. Eternatus is an Ultra Beast. Don't try to catch it in a Beast Ball. I'm pretty sure that won't work. I don't entirely understand your reasoning, but I might as well just see what you can do. I'll heal up your Pokemon for you, Petunia, so give it your best. I really had a team together for an ice gym, so we'll see how this goes. Eternatus and Deoxys being separate but equivalent extra-dimensional viruses have come up before. I think they've said that the Ultra Beasts are similar but not technically the same. Yeah, and they're going to say that because they don't want them to be the same. But again, if you look at the design of like Stakataka, or like a lot of the other ones, like Xurkitree, it's like, tell me that Eternatus is not an Ultra Beast, right? Alright, let's go, Hop. Alright, Hop is back to his Dubwool. Good for you. I'm glad I had a fighting type queued up. I'm counting on you, partner. Yeah, I like how like Hop is like much more imprinted on his Dubwool than he is on his like whatever he gets, like Score Bunny this time around. Oh, you okay, Pavlov? I think I need to give this dog some more medicine. Let's Sucker Punch it to start off with. Yeah. Magnus says I need to sleep and dream of rattlesnakes and who is repping what. Later, people. See you later, Lagnus. Alright. No more joking around. Let's just punch it. Yeah, Revenge is a really strong like, Revenge is very strong. I'm pretty sure it was an egg move, and it's like because this Pokemon's kind of slow, it's actually, you know, that much stronger. Everybody else gets to go before you. Who wants to learn it? Sludge Bomb. 90. Nah, I'm gonna keep. I think with a 10-point difference, the fact that her attack is 137 and her special attack is 95 is gonna make a difference. So we won't just Sludge Bomb. Me too, UK posse out. Yeah, see you guys later. Skippy the Wonder Chicken says, oh, I agree. Eternatus is a glitch in the universe, and the Oxus is a sentient computer virus. The UBs are just the bugs in the system. The fourth wall's breaking, the program is crashing, and Blank Stare MC is there to save the day, wearing a fishbowl hat. Yep. Life's a Pitch says, I'm still here repping the UK. Thank you. Thanks for sticking around. This one is going a little bit later. We are not recording Critical Hit tonight, so we are probably going to go a little bit later. Again, if you feel like taking off, that's fine. Don't, you know, it's all good. Don't lose any sleep and then get fired at your job on my account, guys, please. But I do appreciate you guys coming down, sticking around for as long as you do, hanging out, chatting. Obviously, you know, those of you that subscribe, that makes a big difference for me. That's really fantastic. Just hanging out, it's all good. Corviknight. Yeah. Gotta switch. Let's go with Peppers. Peppers had an early start in that gym, and then all of the dual water types started coming out, and it's like, no, Peppers, you're back to the back. Showing up at all is always good support. Every ad you watch pays the streamer. That's true. Hop using potions like a chump. Liza Pitch says, tomorrow I'm going to work the board game cafe to paint some Blood Bowl minis. I can stay up for a bit. Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's kind of the problem with me cultivating this European audience, is that it's very late for them, you know. So it's like all of these like late night Europe people hanging out, and it's like, yeah, after a while, there people start dropping like flies because it just gets to be too late. Dragon Pulse. That sounds good. Yeah. Bleh. Oh, I didn't. Once again, I didn't read what Pokemon was coming out. We'll keep. Pavlov, you want to go outside? Hang on, guys. My old dog is awake, and he hasn't gone to the bathroom for a bit, so I think I'm going to run him outside real quick. So I'll be right back. Alright, sorry about that, guys. You might have seen my dog. Um, he looks like a puppy, but he's actually pretty old. So he's not interested in going outside unless he needs to go. It's like a lot of dogs. You tell them, hey, let's go outside, and they're like, bah, okay. Like, he doesn't care. Um, which means that I will ask him to go outside at times that are convenient for me, and he doesn't want to. So, of course, you know, the moment that I'm doing a stream or something, he stands up and he's like, ooh, I want to go outside. So that's what just happened. If you're just tuning in, yes, that's why you tuned in to Hop and Petunia staring each other down for 20 minutes. It's because I had to take my dog out. Because he's old and he has a bad back, and so he requires a lot of attention. Let's see. Should I catch up on the chat? Yeah, looks like you guys were mostly talking to each other. That's cool. All right. If I miss something, somebody shout it out that you think would be relevant to me. Otherwise, I'm going to poison this electric type. And then Venoshock it, assuming everything goes as planned. Oh no! I forgot that it gets Bubble Beam. Mostly talking about how you should run and add if you step away like that. That's true, and I did last time, but this time I don't know if I can actually run another one. It like freezes me. Actually, it just cleared, right? It doesn't let me run ads that frequently. So I actually, because I ran an ad last time I stepped away, I couldn't have run another one anyway. So, but thank you. That is a good point. And something that I don't do very often because I don't think of it. I think there's a way to get the bot to do it, to run an ad. But I haven't sat down to do it because I don't think about running ads very often, right? It's just like, it's like, yes, I am trying to monetize this, but also I'm not working very hard to monetize it. Let's switch Pokemon. Oakley knows Surf. Sargassum is a straight-up water type. What level is it? Oh, it's really high level. Let's get Oakley out there. Yeah, so I can run ads. I just don't do it very often. I still have the Rodrigo says last time reflex. Yep. I don't. If you keep listening to Critical Hit, that's not gonna go away. Our flames are burning bright. Okay, Pablo's back to sleep. Now the cat's awake, though. Get him, Oakley. Usually you'd have a mod to do that kind of a thing. A good chat can be convinced running an ad is something they want. I try and instigate some calls for ads on streams I like a lot. Yeah, I think definitely everybody who follows me here from Major Spoilers knows who we are, knows what we're about, and is probably a pretty reasonable person. So I think everybody, most people, again, understand that if you enjoy a content creator's product, the best way to make sure that that product continues to entertain you is to donate, right? Or to financially support them. That way, at least, you're doing something to keep bread and, or as they would say in Galar, beans on toast on the table. The really good chats will be sent on a raid and ask the rated streamer for an ad when they have the most views. Wow, that is nice. That is a high pedigree chat. So that's cool. That is very much having them well trained. I do not expect you guys to be that to be at that level. Oh, that's right. He has that freaking Snorlax. Did my Rivatina get knocked out? No. Okay. That's right. I swapped her out because there was a flying type. I guess if we raid someone, I would mostly just want you guys to be polite. Not that you wouldn't be. I'm just saying. Not even close. It'll be the greatest when I steal this win. Alright, Hop. Just saying, your Pokemon is 10 levels lower than mine, though. So... Still, it's very likely that I'm not going after it. Like, my, Snorlax is one of the... Oh, no, I am going after it. Okay, well, enjoy this full power revenge to your face. Unless I get paralyzed. Nope, I didn't. Full power revenge to the face. Oh, that's nice. You guys are nice. They will send their chant. Oh, yeah. Balui says, I feel bad. I have bought Shield, Pearl, and Arceus and haven't beaten one of them. Oh, that's fine. Here's something that other people don't tell you. You don't have to beat video games. Like, you don't. You can just play them, and then when you get tired of them, stop playing them. And you actually don't have to beat video games. Pokemon notoriously, like every Pokemon game has like multiple endings. Like you beat the game, and then there's like some other mission, and then you can beat the game again. And then there's like finishing the Pokedex or whatever. So it's like, it's actually hard. It's actively difficult to like fully complete a Pokemon game. It's like, just play as far as you want. Pokemon is a very repetitive game too. So if you get tired, stop playing. It's fine. Harvester says, oh yeah, Rodrigo, in terms of when you end streams, are you open to chat suggestions, other channels to raid if you don't have particulars in mind? So I thought about it. And the answer right now is no, because I don't want to send you guys, and I don't want to raid, because when you raid, there's that like social component too, of like, hey, how was your stream, blah blah blah, you know. It's like, and it's nice, but I don't want to raid someone I don't know, and I don't want to take my peeps somewhere where I can't vouch for that person, at least as a personality on air, right? So I'm gonna say no for now, but I'll keep thinking about it, and you know, if you have any counter arguments to it, then that's fair. We can talk about it. But I think I'm starting to see the light. No, you're never gonna see the light, Hop. I'm gonna continue to trounce you. It's gonna be sad. Harvester says, very true. I don't finish games all the time. I used to. Like, I finish a lot more games now that I'm a grown-up. Back when I was a kid and a teenager and, like, a college student, I would just stop playing video games all the time. There are so many games that I started and never finished. Okay, yeah, cool. Thanks. You two have a right proper battle. You two gave a right proper battle. At the rate you both are going, even the unbeatable Leon may be in trouble. So what's next, you two? I plan to look into things in the slumbering wild. I'm going to keep challenging that gym. Then once I get that gym badge, I'll be heading to Route 9 to take on Spikemuth next. Seems like you finally shook off that gloom. Leon would worry if Hop wasn't feeling alright. As his rival, you wouldn't like it either, right? See ya. I brought it up before, but like... Sonia really looks like my wife a lot. Like if somebody was like, oh, here's a cartoony Pokemon version of my wife, it's like that's what she looks like. Like right down to like the pea coat and leggings. Or like, I don't know, trench coat and leggings, I guess. Yeah, she looks a lot like her. She doesn't put little hearts in her hair, but she could if she wanted. Balui says, I find I don't have the patience for some games anymore. It's why I still not buy Elden Ring. I beat all the Dark Souls game, but I hated myself for how long I spent to beat it. Yeah, don't do that. Okay? Here's my PSA for you. Uh, Games are not chores, and games are not your job. I guess unless you're me, and as you can see, I'm doing a terrible job of it as we advance about 10 inches into the plot over the course of every like 4-hour stream. Um, yeah, don't beat yourself up about not finishing games. Games can be a significant investment, you know, $60 a pop or more sometimes. But if you look at a game, like if you look at Elden Ring, and you're like, I don't want to spend $60 or however much it is on a game. Ooh, Icicle Spear. Oh, dang. Has Icicle Spear always been in the game? I thought it was like Cali Writers, like a proprietary thing. I guess it isn't. But anyway, yeah, don't, like, if you look at Elden Ring and you're like, I want to play Elden Ring, but I don't think I'm going to be able to finish it now or anytime soon, and that makes me feel bad, what you can do is just wait. Like, wait till it goes on sale. That game, I guarantee you, will eventually be extremely cheap, both through the PlayStation and or X. Is it out for every console? Like, it'll be there, super cheap, probably pretty soon. Like, they kind of do this thing to sort of maintain a game's momentum, where it comes out and then like months later, like around the time when the first DLC is coming out, they will drop the price. So you can get it then, or you can get it a year later for like mega cheap, right? We just recently bought a bunch of games that like we had been kind of meaning to check out, and we bought them for like $5, $10, $11 a pop on the like on the online store to download. Raiding is definitely something you do when you're pretty big and have a lot of lurkers or people idling on your stream. Raiding as a smaller streamer isn't really required like it is when you get a few hundred or thousand viewers. You want to raid at those levels to pass along the passive money they get from being higher up the category they're streaming in. Yeah, there is a thing where like raiding as a streamer also helps you connect with other streamers. If you regularly raid a streamer, you get at least one conversation with them. They will like, they're more likely to remember your name than if you're just, you know, hanging out on their chat or whatever. So as a networking tool, even with smaller groups, it's still, I think it's reasonable to raid. But I agree, it's not a requirement, and that's why I often don't do it, because I'm like, you know, I'm like, well, I think there's like, I've already said my goodbyes. There's 2 people left in the chat, and there's not really a lot of people that I'd want to raid. The people that I would be showing up with 2 people. Maybe I'd be showing 1 or 2 people who they are and maybe turn them on to their stuff, but it's not a big deal. But you know, if yeah, if we're ever up and going and having more viewers coming through, then I definitely want to be raiding to spread it around. There's actually a good handful of small, I would say up and coming people that I think are doing really well that I would like to raid and to show you guys. But you know, Twitch is weird. They have to be doing it at the same time. What are you gonna do? Frankly, this is a genius content idea. The longer it takes, the more views you get, the more interaction and community building happens. That's why shiny hunting is so big. Yeah, yeah, I know. That's why I prioritize it, right? That's why, you know, talking to you guys is actually what's actually fun about this stream. The game, I've already beaten it. You've already beaten it. Like, you know, it's fun. It's interesting to see what people do. Sometimes fun things happen in the game, but Pokemon is also a very predictable game, so not that many weird things happen aside from like maybe randomly actually finding a shiny out in the wild, which is very unlikely to happen. But yeah, it's obviously the fun of it is talking to you guys. But Louis says, I'd get it for PC, and I don't trust many Japanese developers on actually developing non-buggy games for PC. I wouldn't trust American developments to make a non-buggy game for PC. Honestly, I don't think the Japanese were like. Have you played a Bethesda game? Harvestry says rating other streamers can get their audience to check you out too. Yeah, definitely. Not obligated, but useful. Yeah. All right. I guess we're headed for Spike Myth. Let's see. Pass through Route 9 to reach Spikemouth. Okay. But Louis says, true, I mean more towards caring about the PC platform other than it being an afterthought for the consoles. Yeah, definitely. I think console gaming in Japan is it. Like, their priorities are just different. Like, there are still, like, Japan still has arcades. There are people that produce things. Maybe not only for arcades or even primarily for arcades, but for a lot of, like, fighting game creators or companies that make fighting games, and for companies that make are my Pokemon healthy? Healthy enough. For companies that make fighting games or racing games and stuff, like the arcade market is still a big deal, which is like non-existent in the US anymore, right? Like in the US, like only very like novelty places still have arcades. Like I was gonna say like probably the most popular place that'll have an arcade is like a bowling alley. But the pandemic shut down permanently shut down a lot of bowling alleys. So actually, the bowling alley that my wife and I used to go to got shut down. So just they went out of business. So yeah, that's something that happens, and the pandemic certainly hasn't helped it. Let's see. Skippy says, the thing that takes me out of Souls games are how the animations are just awful. They have a lot of hair and cloth and particle effects, but nothing reacts if you hit it. Just blank stares all around. Interesting. But Louis says, I think it's why rollback is so important for fighting games in the US, but in Japan is not as important. That's a great point. Yeah, rollback netcode is huge in the US. And I haven't told you guys, like I'm actually very excited. Capcom is putting out this like fighting game collection that has like all the Darkstalkers, and I love Street Fighter, I love Mortal Kombat, but I was a Darkstalkers kid. Like I love that game so much. It's just so weird and stupid looking, and you can play monsters, and like as a kid I was like, whoa, I wish I had more money to spend on this game, but I didn't. So although I love it, I actually didn't get to play very much of it. And also I never had the consoles that it came out for, so that was a problem too. I'm gonna sucker punch this guy. Oh, weird. It has priority, so Sucker Punch didn't work? Is that what happened? That is weird. I need new ports for it. Yeah, it's called Capcom Fighting Arcade or something like that. Fighting Collection? Yes. Yes. Oh, that's not... I thought that was going to be a YouTube video. Never mind. I actually went to their website. But yeah, that's what it's called. Capcom Fighting Game Collection. Yep, it has like Red Earth, Darkstalker stuff, like that robot game that Capcom put out. It's got a bunch of like old weird stuff on it. Like I'm I definitely want to get it, and you guys might actually see me stream fighting games, and of course be terrible at it, if I can get a hold of it. Hit him with the big Frankenstein booty. Exactly. That's exactly right. Um, yeah, my go-to was Sasquatch. Like I always wanted to get good with him, but again, I didn't get a chance to play too much. But yeah, love all those characters. Riku and John Talbane, and like your big naked babe Morrigan. There's a reason why Morrigan and to a lesser extent Felicia are the ones that have really like kind of hit critical velocity and managed to make it onto other Capcom games. Is because they're super neckies. BB Hood was my favorite. Yeah, BB Hood, it's great. Even like BB Hood was like them starting to like really be like to like develop the game's world and go a little bit farther away from like these are like Universal Studios monsters, and more like this is the Darkstalkers world. Is like BB Hood. What was the bee's name? Just Queen Bee. And oh, now I'm blanking out on the name of what's the like a vampire hunter guy that has like a little kid hanging out with him. I want to get good at the secret characters, meaning the mirror character is a real flex. Oh yeah, QB. Oh, Dimitri, yeah. Jeddah, yeah. Jeddah is just like Jeddah's technically a demon, right? But it's like, yeah, what is Jeddah? It's just like Jeddah is Jeddah. He's just like this like weird purple guy. It's like rock and roll. Actually, so now that we're talking about fighting games, I was one of those people that were very disappointed by Marvel vs. Capcom Ultimate. Was it Ultimate? Infinite? What was the one that came out most recently? Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Yeah. Yeah, I was really disappointed by it. And if you hear some fighting game pros talk about it, it's like the game itself was good. Like the fundamentals of the game were sound. It had some good ideas. Like it's okay. Like Smash does it all the time, right? It like speeds things up or slows things down. Whoa! Sargassum is evolving. Oh snap, guys. We're about to get a dragon type. Yes! Your Sargassum evolved into Dragalge. Nice. I was like, immediately, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna take it like immediately I'm back in like Legends Arceus, and I'm like, I'm gonna take it out of the Pokeball and see what it looks like, but you can't do that in this game. So let's look at him here. Ooh, so beautiful. What are its stats now? Oh, they're just pretty good. It's also just level 48, so that's not going to be very impressive. Dragalge, yes. I only enjoyed it because I really like Monster Hunter in that game. Sure. I enjoyed it because I liked a lot of the characters. I like the Hulk and I like Firebrand. Like I enjoy playing those characters for the nostalgia of being like, I know who Firebrand is, yay! And obviously your Ryus and your Chun-Lis. I played one game of online in Marvel Infinite, and my team was, I want to say Chun-Li and Spider-Man, and I won, and I'm like, okay, that's all I need to play. I am now undefeated in this game, and I literally never played online again. Skippy says it was a nice tag game mechanically, everything else was awful. Yes, it was. But Louis says, my problem is I actually play fighting games for the story, and I felt fighting games recently have not cared about a single play experience. They do not. They definitely do not. Fighting games really, really cater to, nowadays, to competitive players. And the fighting games that don't, still don't necessarily cater to the first to the one player experience. A great example of this is Smash, right? Smash is like, no, stop it. Stop. Stop playing this as a tournament fighting game. This is a fun party game. And it's like, oh, do you have any single player content? It's like, we have a massive thing that is World of Spirits, but there's no story to it. Like, the story to it can be summarized in 3 beats. Well, I guess every story can be summarized in 3 beats. But you're going to play for hours and hours and hours and see 2 cutscenes. So it's like the most interesting thing that happens in World of Spirits happens at the beginning, or World of Light. The most interesting thing that happens to World of Light happens at the very beginning, and it's that big cutscene with like all the characters getting like disintegrated, and then you never see anything as cool as that again in the rest of the game. Oh, definitely not. MK seem to be the only ones who care. Yeah, absolutely. I hold that the single-player Mortal Kombat campaign was better than the Mortal Kombat movie. It's a better Mortal Kombat movie than the Mortal Kombat movie. Yeah, I love MK games because they seem to care. Yeah. Grand Blue Fantasy catered to neither online competitive nor the story mode, so it's a baffling game to release mid-pandemic. Oh, yeah. And only Kirby survives. Yeah, I love that. One of these days that's going to be the stream. One of these days, that is going to be that day's stream. Because we're just going to sit down and we're just going to analyze why that opening cinematic to World of Light is itself almost the best story mode out there. Like, that little cinematic does everything that a story mode... Let's just do it right now. Why are we even playing Pokemon? Alright, hope you guys got some time, because I'm about to talk about World of Light. I kind of expected Bay or Palutena to survive. Yeah, and they don't. And we will talk about why. We're going to go blow by blow on this thing. Yep. Okay. You guys got me talking about Smash. This is your fault. Let's go to my browser. Okay. Yeah, okay. Here we go. So, why... Hang on. Why is the World of Light cinematic, the opening cinematic, why does it perfectly encapsulate what you want out of a story mode, and kind of why World of Light was such a failure, because it failed to follow up on on its magnificence. Okay, let's look at it. All right. Fox is gone.
A single one get away.
Fox. I'm gonna turn this down just a little so I can talk over it. And by a little, I mean probably a lot, right? Pulls out, everybody's here, right? That's the tagline. Everybody's here. Look at that. Look at this cast. Look at this ridiculous cast of characters, right? This is never going to happen again. Smash Ultimate, right? Smash Bros. Ultimate. God, everything's like Ultimate and Infinite. Smash Bros. Ultimate, so good. You're just never going to get these many characters, like never going to get these many companies to agree to put their characters in something again. Let me expand this. Full screen. There we go. Because it sets up all-consuming power and just fails to convincingly resolve it. Smash might never come back, honestly. At least never be as good. That's very likely. Okay. Everybody's here. There's little Kirby, Pikachu, everybody you like is here, and a bunch of guys you don't even know, right? So, first thing, here's a bad guy. It's like you pan up and you see a Master Hand, and you're like, oh no, Master Hand. Is like, oh no, there's the bad guy. It's so powerful that it has a bunch of Master Hands. Does it make sense? No, but it doesn't matter, right? It's like, okay, well, that sucks. You get like the very few lines
You
in
each
this.
need to take down about 10.
Stow your fear. It's now or never.
So I love this because, and people have pointed this out, that Marth is just very, because that's his character, very calculating as a war, not a warlord, but a tactician. He's like, each of us needs to take down about 10. And then Zelda comes in with like, we have to do this, guys, like with like the rallying cry, but it really sounds like she's going, shut up, Marth. Like, like, shut up, Marth, we're doing this. Oh, Skippy, let's see. Because it says a ball consuming power and just fails to convincingly resolve it. Oh, looks like maybe you had some from using foul language. YouTube? Is that what it didn't like? Oh, sorry, Skippy. Let me see if I can. Can I? How can I do this? Oh. Oh, yeah. Okay, I see it now. I'm sorry about that, Skippy. Again, my filter is very aggressive. I don't want to change it to something else until I can find something else that is maybe a little bit more tolerant, but I don't want to like fully take it off, so I apologize for that. Okay, sorry about that. Um, Stop guessing B words, Harvestry. That is not going to help you. Okay, so yes. um, Zelda, in fact, goes STFUB, but that's not what she's actually doing, right? She's just kind of rallying everybody. Um,
We'll win this. I know we will.
Pit with the hope. And then you're like, oh, here come the Master Hands. It's like, oh no, they're like separating into like weird tendrils. Okay, and this starts here, right? From here on out, everything that happens is completely tied to a character's character, their story in their game, their power set, their abilities. Like every second of this thing is going to be completely full of like character information, right? It crossed out everything you said on here too. I'm sorry, Skippy. It just that's how it works. Again, I'm trying to find something that's a little bit more lenient, and I think there might be a way for me to like reinstate you. Um, but I don't know how. So yeah, so everything that happens from here on out is either character or like personal character driven, or has to do with their powers and their story, or is actually a Smash Brothers reference. So let's see it. So first off, oh, now I blanked out on his name. So many characters in this game, and I didn't play Xenogears. This guy, um, this guy can tell the future, right? So the very first thing that happens is he sees a glimpse of the future. Um, and oh, Shulk. Yes, thank you, Balui. Yep. So the first thing that happens, Shulk can see the future. Bam, you get it, right? It's like Shulk is not gonna get to do much else, so we get this. Like he basically gets the first move. It's like, oh no, this is gonna be bad, and you already see all these people getting bamfed, right? So you're like, oh no, and you're like struggling to think is like, is Shulk's ability like, does it allow him to change the future, or is it like set, right? You're like, oh no, but you don't have enough time because this is just moving along. So here we go. So we don't know this yet, right? You have to have seen the whole thing, thought about it, and then gone back to see it. The only thing that is able to stop this thing is the Hylian shield, right? Like the only thing that is immune to it is Link's shield, and that is both a reference to Zelda and it being the best shield. I think it's the Hylian shield, um, and also a reference to Link, where in Smash Brothers, if he's just standing there and you shoot him and it hits the shield, like a projectile won't go through, right? Yep, only from the front, right? If you hit him from the back, the shield doesn't do anything. So yeah, you don't know this yet, but absolutely the only thing that stood up to this thing was the Hylian shield, which feels extremely badass for Link and the characters from Zelda, right? But they get him. They get Samus. So here, this is a Smash Brothers reference, right? Because Zelda has powers and other stuff, but the power set that we think of as Zelda comes from Link's powers in Ocarina of Time, which were kind of given to Zelda to give her something to do. So Zelda and Mewtwo, what do? They try to reflect it, right? Both of those powers are reflects. So they're like, oh, this is some sort of projectile attack. I'm going to reflect it. It doesn't work. Reflects don't work. This is a Smash Brothers reference. It's Breath of the Wild Link too, so that could have been the durability on the shield running out. Yeah, that could be it too. Although the shield doesn't break, so. But yeah, I think it gets them from behind is what happens. So they try to do reflects. The reflects don't work. Okay. Sonic the Hedgehog is the fastest there is, right? Fastest guy, fastest character, right? How could this thing ever catch up to Sonic? This is why, right? This doesn't tell us something about how fast Sonic is. We already know how fast Sonic is. Sonic is literally the fastest character in this game, but he's a good guy. And he wants to help Pikachu, and because he stops to help Pikachu, or he slows down to help Pikachu, the light gets him. Right? And everybody loves Pikachu. How could you see Pikachu in trouble and not help him, right? He's adorable. Bayonetta tries to do her, like, transform into bat things. Yep, Sonic slows down to save Pikachu. That's right. Tries to do her bat thing, but they get her on the way back. Pokemon Trainer, and I love this shot, and Bowser are on the full offensive, right? They're like, okay, dodging is not working, reflecting is not working. Let's go on the offensive. Doesn't work, but it doesn't matter because I love this shot. Bam! Right? Amazing. Incredible. Love it. Also very Bowser to just be like, I'm the biggest bruiser there is, and then get conked in the face for it. Just classic Bowser. Captain Falcon could have outrun it if he got into the Blue Falcon, but he doesn't make it into the Blue Falcon. Lucario can teleport, as can Greninja, but they just can't teleport enough, right? Or fast enough. Inklings, right? They have a way to avoid things by going into the ink, but it doesn't work. Also, this leads us to probably the funniest one yet. Oh, not yet. Okay, so Falco gets into his R-Wing. Falco actually makes it into his R-Wing, but they still catch up to him, right? It's that fast. Love this, right? It's like the Kid Icarus game that Dark Pit, and Palutena come from, that these versions come from, is Sakurai's baby, right? He made that game, so he gives them this moment where like Pit and Dark Pit are getting away. Palutena tries to do a reflect, she gets hit, and their power comes from Palutena, so they lose their powers, they lose their ability to fly, and you can see that I think their halos turn dark too, and they're sitting ducks, right? So that it's like that tells us something about that game. It's something that you might not have thought about that game, but this plays on this like very specific singular thing about that game. And again, this is my favorite. Well, this isn't my favorite one, but it's really funny, right? There's just this box, and it gets hit, right? If you don't know what that box is, you're like, what's that box doing there? But if you know, you know. And it's actually hilarious. This is like a full movie that takes like 4 minutes, right? You get all the like ups and downs and chills and spills of a movie. This is a joke to break the tension. You're seeing all the characters you love like getting disintegrated, and seeing Snake's disintegration is like actively hilarious. Um, Skippy says, I got really in my feels about this whole intro when it dropped. There's a lot of wonderful characterization going on, absolutely. Palutena also uses her reflect right in the path of Pit and Dark Pit to try to cover their escape. Absolutely, right? That tells you something about Palutena. It tells you about how their powers work. Absolutely, 100%. That's a great observation. Right, here's some more flying guys trying to get away. Diddy Kong on his jetpack. Um, and Rosalina and Luma trying to get away as well. Um, this is also kind of another Smash Brothers reference because I think Palutena at the last second tries to, maybe not, but I thought she was trying to like do her thing where she sends Luma away. So maybe she was trying to do that to save Luma, right? Not that it matters because Luma disappears when Palutena goes down, but yeah. Okay. Again, so Villager, Duck Hunt, aka Duck Hunt Duo, and Wii Fit Trainer, right? Three very weird characters put together into this tableau. So what do they do? So it doesn't look like they do anything, but in fact they do. Oh, did I say? I'm sorry. Did I say Palutena? I meant Rosalina and Luma. Yeah. Um, so what do they do? Villager is just full on freaking out, right? He's not doing anything. The duck is trying to carry the dog to safety, but the dog is freaking out, so he's like just hiding, just like putting his paws over his face. So that's what they get hit, right? Wii Fit Trainer is doing tree pose. Tree pose in the game in Smash Brothers gives you a moment of invulnerability. So if you're a Wii Fit Trainer main and you see this moment, you're like, I know what Wii Fit Trainer was trying to do. Basically, Wii Fit Trainer was trying to tank the hit by using her invulnerability, but invulnerability doesn't work against these lights. The dog is trying to hide behind the foreground foliage. Yeah, that's what's worked for him in the past. Yep, while the duck is trying to fly off screen. Exactly. Yep, exactly right. And here comes Kerbo, right? So, a lot has been said about how Kirby is Sakurai's favorite. I think he literally created Kirby, and certainly has worked on a lot of Kirby games. But you also need, like, the reason why it's brilliant and important that Kirby get away is there's lots of reasons, right? So let's watch Kirby get away. Right. And then a bunch of other guys get hit. And it spreads to the world and the universe. No escape. Fade to black. Now yep. All the spirits are wandering. And then the warp star comes back. I think they're called warp stars. Into a song that we all now know by heart if you've played a lot of Smash Brothers, right? Okay, so that's basically it. There's, some gameplay footage, and then you get to see the spirits taking over the sort of like toy versions of each character. But why is it important that Kirby gets away? So again, a lot of people are like, well, Kirby's Sakurai's favorite, but so obviously he'd be the one to get away. But if you think about the last time that Smash had a good story mode, which was the Subspace Emissary, you also begin the game by playing Kirby and Mario. And so the real reason why Kirby gets away is because Balooey, you love this song? Yeah, it's like so far deep in my brain. Um, uh, The important reason why Kirby gets away is that Kirby is the most forgiving character for new players, right? So a brand new player to Smash Brothers can start as Kirby and start playing through World of Light and not be worried about being, you know, shot out of a platform and having no recovery, or rather not knowing how recovery works in Smash Brothers, because Kirby has recovery for days, right? He has like his multiple floaty jump, and then he does his like sword thing. It's very easy to recover with Kirby. So that's the reason. That's a real reason why Kirby makes it out. It's not, the Warp Star works the way that it does, but it's like this cool and exciting and fun moment. Kirby is also like the cutest, most roundest little baby, so it's like you get like you get worried about him. You're like, oh no, this little baby's gonna get hurt just like everyone else, and he actually makes it out, and it's this moment of like, and then when he makes it out, he just like smashes down on the ground, showing you that he's exhausted. Right? It took a Herculean effort for him to get away, but the reason why he gets away is because he's the easiest character to play. Um, Kirby is also known for like taking over and rehabilitating other characters, making them Kirby's friends. Kirby is a solution to a very particular problem of brainwashing. If Kirby escapes, hope lives on. Yeah, absolutely, right. And Kirby, if you know Kirby, Kirby's like a tried and true hero as well, right? Like Kirby is a hero of the magnitude of Link or Mario or any of those other guys. So Kirby gets away, and you're like, oh, we are still in this. Like Kirby's gonna turn it around. Um, but Louis says Kirby is also deceptively powerful for just an ability to be able to eat anything. Yeah, well, and he's like basically indestructible too. But yeah, it's like Kirby gets away, and then you have this hope, right? And you end with the shot of this game world that you're gonna get to play in, right? So then what happens? Well, uh, you play and in like a huge, and I played through the whole thing. I beat the whole thing. You play through this huge and extremely repetitive set of references. And let me tell you something. These references are amazeballs. Like they are they are such huge deep cuts, like really amazing, like thought out, like what power do we give to this person, which person in the roster represents this character, right? You fight a Big the Cat Spirit. There is a Mario RPG fight where you play against a Kirby, being Mallow, and a Bowser and a Peach, and I want to say me a me swordsman being Geno. I forget who plays Geno. But yeah, there's like, here's your Mario RPG fight, and you're like, oh, Geno didn't make it into this game, but this is something. But there's a ton of these. They're extremely repetitive. Basically, when I was playing, I found Bowser, and I found a spirit that made him big, and then I found a spirit that empowered smash attacks, and basically, I very boringly got through this whole game by just flicking smash at the beginning of each fight, and Bowser would just obliterate most things. Anything that didn't die then, sure, it was a fight. Um, oh, look, it's Wolfie. Don't play me this Wolfie video. Thank you. Anything else is like becomes an actual fight, right? Um, and it was just disappointing. The next cutscene that happens is right before you get to the end boss. You get to see that there is like another one of these things, right? Or right there's yeah, it's like the next cutscene is you get to see that there's another one on these things right before you fight the final version of them. Um, there's like a quick cutscene with like Mario and like Greninja and like a couple other characters hanging out and looking like super determined. But that's the thing is like they couldn't show you all the characters because getting some of the characters is optional. So you don't even get the equivalent of that first shot again because um, you could have opted not to get Ike, or you could have opted not to get I don't know, any one of those characters, right? It's like there's a very few characters that you have to get to continue on. There's maybe like five, and those five characters are there, and no one else. So yeah, it's just like, man, what a promise that was not, absolutely not in any way delivered on. That World of Light opening cinematic was still amazing. It's still like World of Light is a better story mode. Just like sorry, the opening cinematic of World of Light is a better story mode than the huge cinematic of Guilty Gear Strive. Right? That's pretty much garbage. Like it's not very good. Like you talk about like somebody taking a bunch of like amazing music and characters and not doing very much with it and just kind of making a boring story out of it. Guilty Gear Strive's like movie, right? Because it doesn't even have any playable stuff, which is fine. Is just not very good. Like if you compare that to World of Light, where like it just like very economically makes you feel for every character, every single character on screen, and there's 50 of them, right? And you're like, I don't usually care about Bayonetta, but what's happening to me? Like, it's very good. Um, the next time you get something like that, first shot is Sora's reveal. Yeah, sure. Um, let's see. Balui says I also beat this whole thing. Skippy the Wonder Chicken says this is where my feels for the game die actually playing it. Yeah, I get that. Harvester says Kirby is in some respects good for lack of the actual capability to do bad. He's like pure good. Yeah, definitely. Balui says some of them are quite disturbing. I'm guessing you mean the fights. Harvestry, which is a funny concept when you look at the character set as protagonist and morality. Yeah, Skippy says, I love the Waluigi fight, though. Yeah, there's lots of fights that stick in my brain as being very good. Um, there's a. I'm not a big Metal Gear fan, but there's one. It's like Big Boss is like that lady, and then in the game she gets blown up. So, spoiler alert. So her fight is like a countdown until like the character explodes, and it's like, what? This is horrifying, Smash, but it's just like it's a reference, right? It's like if you don't know, then you don't know, and you just kind of play it straight. Um, there's a bomb stage kind of rep of Metal Gear Solid. Oh yeah, yeah, that's absolutely, yeah, that's literally what I was saying. I remember it made sense. On the dark side is Bayo, and on the light side is Palutena near the final bosses. Yeah, lots of stuff like that, right? It's like who would make is like, oh, now we're in a racetrack. This is where you get Captain Falcon. You know, lots of little stuff like that. The next time you get something like that, first shot is Sora's reveal. Sure. Actually, I would say all of the reveal trailers are tend to be very good. So you have that. The reveal trailers are good. Um, World of Light, Skippy says, World of Light is a better short film than most Disney shorts. Yeah. Balui says, I hate Strive Cinematic. I bought Strive since I love the single player content. Before was so disappointed with Strive. Yeah, for single player stuff, Strive is not very good. You kind of have to take it online. Balui says, though I do love Palutena telling Pit about each character. Yeah, yeah, that's always fun. That and same thing with like the Metal Gear, with like Otakon or whatever, telling you what each character does. I meant the next time you get all of the characters together at the same time as Sora's reveal. I see, I see. Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, definitely. It's a good one, right? Let's see. Um, where'd my browser go? Yeah, it's this guy here. Don't show me an ad. Shh, guys, don't look at this ad. Oh, I actually haven't put it through yet. Ha ha! I tricked you, ad. Another ad. Stop it. Skip ad. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, is this like all of the reveals? No, that's not what I want. I just want this last shot here. Yeah, the Zora reveal is also really good. I mean, that's a great shot right there, right? Is like all of these characters from various franchises. A real sense of like, this was it, guys. Like, this was it, and we got to play it, you know? I love Smash Ultimate. There's lots of things that I think could be better about it. The first, like, the single player campaign, definitely one aspect of that. Um, I think now they like patched it so that you can actually play with someone else. So that might actually be more fun is to take if you have someone to play with to do to do World of Light in co-op. Um, I just want to get to that handshake. Um, but yeah, so that might be more fun. Harvester says, "Look at us not watching ads that don't benefit Rodrigo." That is right. That is correct. Except let me close this Google Workspace ad. There we go. It's like it brings you back. It brings you back to play some more. I never played Kingdom Hearts, but I was like, this character looks like the floatiest character ever, so I'm interested. Um, I'm interested to see what he can do, and it's fun. It's fun to play. I wouldn't become a Zora main anytime soon, but he's fun. My wife is a big Kingdom Hearts fan, and even Sora's inclusion does not make her want to play Smash Brothers, which makes me sad. But she's very nice. She will sometimes play Smash Brothers with me. She plays Kirby and then just does like the dash, like when he turns into a little fireball, over and over again until she gets me low enough, and then she tries to hit me with a hammer. You'd think knowing her. There we go. That's the shot, right? There you go. This is the last time. This is the last time you'll see all of these guys here together. Oh, I did not mean to hit play. I meant to try and make the things go away, but they didn't. But yeah, the last time you'll get to see all of those guys together. Yeah, you'd think that my wife using the same strategy over and over with Kirby would make her easy to beat, but I don't know. It's a good strategy. Yeah, the trick is finding someone. God, I'm just so bad at landing it. Anyway, you guys know what I mean. Blah, blah, blah. Everybody's here. We'll never see this again. Smash Brothers was an amazing moment that will not last. Um, so on and so forth. So yeah, that's my very long rant about Smash Brothers. I should probably close up the stream here pretty soon. So I want to thank you guys. Let me see if there's someone we can raid. Yeah, not really. Again, it's like everybody that's up now that I know has like 900,000 followers, right? So I'm like, well, we're gonna show up and it's not gonna like even dent it. And you guys probably already know who these people are. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening to all my weird rants. Thanks for coming along with me as we inch forward in the story of Pokemon Shield. We will probably be done with it by the time that I have played um, Pokemon Scarlet or Violet all the way through at least once. So that'll be great timing, right? Then I'll just start up with that one again. Um, the last shot, even close to the World of Light cinematic, is real bittersweet, honestly. Absolutely. Might honestly be better to make a new kind of fighting game. Yeah. Um, that's not a Smash player, that's my wife. um, very relatable rants, thank you. It was fun. Yeah, it's been good times. Extra long stream for today. And I'm glad that you guys were here with me for it. Hopefully some of our friends who had to go to sleep along the way will watch the VOD and watch me freak out about Smash Brothers. Honestly, I'm definitely putting that rant on YouTube because I've been thinking about that video for a long time and I've been wanting to do something with it, and I guess I just did it like spontaneously, like bah, blah, blah, blah. But as you can see, I've watched that cinematic a lot. And I love it, and it's really good. And again, it's probably it itself is the best fighting game story mode that there ever was. So yes, hello YouTube. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for doing stuff. Thanks for watching, and yeah, we'll see you next time. Once I find my ending slate, there we go. See you guys later.